gold, but if you don't use 24 karat gold, it doesn't look good, and there's never been a paint that imitates it. So we're going to be painting the columns, probably a very good white, beautiful white. It'll look beautiful with the white marble behind it. The marble's all being renovated inside and out. So that's where I'm going right now. I have all the marble people with me, and we're going to do that with Kennedy Center. The interior of Kennedy Center is being totally done. The chairs are being replaced or renovated. The stages are being renovated fully. Very good stages, very good sound. They have great sound. We're lucky. Some opera houses, they spend a lot of time and money. If it doesn't have good sound, it's like you're born a certain way. If an opera house opens up and it doesn't have good sound, you never make it good. They try. They've tried. In New York, they had a problem, and they rip it apart every 5 years and try to make it good. But if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. This one, the Kennedy Center has phenomenal sound. It's one of the big advantages. So we're going to make that fantastic. We have a great board of close to 40 people, and they're in love with it. And we'll have that. I think within a year, the Kennedy Center will be finished.
That's not me. That's the feed.
Awarded Sylvester Stallone.
It's a crappy feed.
Right. Very unusual because they don't do that, but they do it here. And we have just, you saw Michael Crawford's going to get an award. It is really going to be very exciting. I'm going to be hosting, not that I want to host, I don't want to host, but they've asked me very strongly to host, so I'll host it, like I hosted The Apprentice years ago, and we'll do a good job. And we have the awards, I guess, on December something, early in December, we have the awards. Will be on CBS on television. So I just wanted to thank you. Do you have any questions or anything?
President Trump, you're going to fire Lisa Cook, the Fed governor, over her
Yeah,
mortgage
I'll fire her
fraud?
if she doesn't resign, yeah. What she did was bad. So I'll fire her if she doesn't resign.
Mr. President, have you been briefed on the FBI raid of John Bolton?
No, I don't know about it. I saw it on television this morning. I'm not a fan of John Bolton. He's a real sort of a lowlife. When I hired him, he served a good purpose because, as you know, he was one of the people that forced Bush to do the ridiculous bombings in the Middle East. The Bolton, he wants to always kill people, and he's very bad at what he does. But he worked out great for me because every time he doesn't talk, he's like a very quiet person, except on television. If he could say something bad about Trump, he'll always do that. But he really doesn't talk. He's quiet. And I'd walk into a room with him with a foreign country, and the foreign country would give me everything because they said, oh no, they're going to get blown up because John Bolton's there. He's not a smart guy, but he could be a very unpatriotic guy. I mean, we're going to find out. I know nothing about it. I just saw it this morning. They did a raid.
Do you expect the DOJ to brief you on this?
Yeah, they'll brief me, probably today sometime.
And the Foreign Minister...
I tell Pam and I tell the group, I don't want to know, but just you have to do what you have to do. I don't want to know about it. It's not necessary. I could know about it. I could be the one starting it. I'm actually the chief law enforcement officer, but I feel that it's better this way.
Foreign Minister Lavrov said no meeting is planned right now between Putin and Zelensky. Absent that meeting, what are the next steps in your view?
Well, we'll see. We're going to see if Putin and Zelensky will be working together. That's like oil and vinegar a little bit. They don't get along too well for obvious reasons, but we'll see. And then we'll see whether or not I would have to be there. I'd rather not. I'd rather have them have a meeting and see how they can do. But in the meantime, they continue to fight and they continue to kill people, which is very stupid because they're losing 7,000 people now. I used to tell you 5, now they're losing 7,000 people a day. 7,000 people a week. They're losing, think of that, they're losing 7,000 people on average a week, mostly soldiers. So we want to see if we can stop it. I've stopped 7 wars. I'd like to make this one I thought would have been in the middle of the pack in terms of difficulty, and it's turning out to be the most difficult.
With the launching of the White House TikTok account, are you no longer concerned about privacy concerns or national security problems?
I'm really not. I think it's highly overrated. So TikTok, as you know, I used TikTok in the campaign. Some young guy named TikTok Jack. Then I won the young people by 36 points. No Republican ever wins the young people, and I won it by a lot. And I'm a fan of TikTok. My kids like TikTok. Young people love TikTok. If we can keep it going, good. and we're going to watch the security concerns. And we have buyers, American buyers. We have American buyers. And I haven't spoken to President Xi about it. At the right time when we're set, I'll do it. In the meantime, until the complexity of things work out, we just extend a little bit longer. But we have buyers. We have very substantial American buyers that want to buy it.
President Trump, would you like Congress to give you more control over DC when they return from recess?
Look, DC is a miracle what's happened. I mean, they can come up with fake numbers like the mayor is doing. Oh, no, it was going down for 20 years. You didn't live here. You know, have you been mugged, okay? DC was a hellhole, and now it's safe. And in fact, I put out this morning, I said, I hate to say this because it doesn't sound very good, but there have been no murders in DC in the last week. That's the first time in anybody's memory that you haven't had a murder in a week. And I think the mayor has to get on the ball because we have a situation, and she's a nice woman, but I'll tell you what, she's got to get on the ball. We have, I don't want to see phony numbers. DC hit an all-time high last year of absolute total crime, and it continued pretty bad. And then we put some strength into it, got the numbers down a little bit, but we brought in the DC National Guard, and we coupled them with the police, and it has been amazing. I have friends that live here, people that work in the White House, but I have friends that live here. They're all going out to dinner now. They haven't gone out in years. One man, I told this story yesterday when we were with the police and with the National Guard. We had a great little celebration, brought them hamburgers, brought them pizza, but we were with them, and I told the story about one friend hasn't been out in 4 years to a restaurant, and now he's been out 4 nights in a row. He called me this morning, by the way. He said it's so safe. He feels like totally safe. He can walk. He's got a 10-block walk. He walks it. He wouldn't have walked those 10 blocks. He said it would be a chain of hell, he called it. He said it was just horrible. He had no chance of making it to the 10th block. And the mayor has to admit that. She can't say it was just like it hasn't been clean. Now it's going to be clean. I'm giving out a contract very soon. Susie's with me. We're going to be raising about $2 billion from Congress, and Congress is happy to do it. And we're going to wisely spend the money. We're doing it with Clark Construction. We're going to head out right from the Capitol and the White House, and if you look at a circle and go about 3 miles out, it's going to be beautiful. All those light poles, see the poles, they're rusting, and they got different lenses on top, if you look. I mean, just looking at so many different problems. And we're going to have this place beautified within a period of 12 months. The streets are going to be retopped, not ripped up and rebuilt, and they're no good after they rebuild them because they start settling. We're going to take off the asphalt and put beautiful, well-done asphalt. You know, if you have a good asphalt worker, it's the greatest thing you can have, but there aren't too many of them. But I know all the good contractors. So this place will be beautified within a period of months. So it'll be safe and beautified. And then the big question is, how long do we stay? Because if we stay, we want to make sure it doesn't come back. So we have to take care of these criminals and get them out of here. We've collected hundreds of career criminals. These are career criminals. You're not going to teach them to be nice. These are probably born that way. I don't know. But they're career criminals. They're very, very dangerous people. They would love to be with you for a little while and slap you around. But I put my money on this guy. He'd take them. Right? He'd take them down so quickly. He's saying, I don't want any part of it. No, people don't want to be that. And we have over 1,000 arrests. We're taking career criminals off the streets. It's my ambition that when we're complete, we can take everybody out and you have a great capital. But people are so happy, and I don't know where they get the polls. I see polls that they're 90% in favor of what I'm doing, and then you turn to CNN, which is fake news and nobody watches it, or MSDNC, they changed, MSNBC, they changed their name now because they were so bad. But they're the worst, owned by Comcast, run by a guy named Brian Roberts, who doesn't have a clue. He's terrible, terrible manager. But they're not, I don't think, selling it. They're changing the name because they're ashamed of it, and they're disassociating it from NBC, which is also fake news. You know, they should be ashamed of that too. But a lot of fake news. I think the news is getting better. They're learning that they have no credibility. ABC, CBS was just sold to a great person that I know very well, great a great man. He actually just bought CBS, and I think he's going to do the right thing with it. NBC is run terribly by Comcast. I call it Concast because it's a whole con. And you're going to see some things happening. I think you're going to see some just amazing things happening. But to me, DC is very exciting. And a lot of people say, well, where's he going from there? Well, I have calls from politicians begging me to go to Chicago, begging me to go to New York, begging me to go to Los Angeles. And if we didn't go to Los Angeles with Newsom, they run it so badly, I don't think we would have been able to have the Olympics. They would have ripped down that city. We went there and it stopped day one. And the chief of police in Los Angeles, when they asked him the question, he said, thank God they came, because we could not have handled what was happening. We went in, we stopped it, and that was it. So they needed help. They don't like to say it. I wish they'd say, I need help. I wish the mayor of DC would say, you know, we're overridden with crime and we need help, instead of saying the stats are down. I mean, they're under investigation now for fake numbers, where they fudged the numbers. And they did, there's no question about it. They said, oh, we're on a downtrend for 20 years. No, they're on an uptrend for 20 years. We are going to make DC totally safe. When people come from Iowa, Indiana, all of the beautiful places, and they're not going to go home in a body bag. They're not going home in a coffin. And it's very safe right now. There's been no murders since I started. And, you know, it's a terrible thing to say. Who would think that you have to say that there have been no murders? It's terrible. I wrote it this morning. I said, it's hard to say this, but it's actually good news, but it's a hell of a thing to say. There have been no murders in the last week. And nobody can remember the last time that this happened. And there won't be murders, because all the thugs are hiding, or they're being sent back to their countries, or they're in jail. And it'll only get better. But we're also doing the beautification, and I just wanted to see the store, because they have done a fantastic job. It's memorabilia, it's beautiful books, and beautiful everything. It's really, I think the fake news ought to go in and buy some stuff and make happy. I'd pay it, but then you say I'm trying to pay you off, so I don't want to do it. I'd pay the price, but if I did that, Margot, they'd say, he's trying to pay us off, and with the fake news, we can't be bought off. So anyway, so I just want to thank you all. We're going now, and I don't know if you're following. Are you following? We'll have a stop at the really beautiful, what will be beautiful. Right now, I can't use bad language, but it's been so badly run. And they built these cubes outside, these cubes. And there's stairways that go down to little rooms that nobody uses. It's so crazy what they did. They spent hundreds of millions of dollars. It's like throwing money out the window. They built cubes. All it does is block off the view. So I'm either going to use those cubes as a platform. You know, they go down to little stages, but nobody uses it. And we're taking care of our big, beautiful stages that people really want. And we have artists from all over the world wanting to come. I think we're signing the World Cup. The World Cup's going to have its primary office in the Kennedy Center. And again, I want to thank our board of the Kennedy Center. They have been absolutely incredible. But you may get a chance to see what we're going to do a little bit. I'll show you beautiful slabs of marble that, for the sake of cleaning and grouting, would look like they got put in yesterday by a top marble smith. So I want to thank you all, and I'll see you in 15 minutes, okay? Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, so now let me see if I can fast forward to when that 15 minutes he was talking about. Let me see if they've brought it back up. Give me a second. It doesn't look like that 15 minutes was realized. Nope, nothing else on that feed. All right, so that means nothing else on that feed. So I'm just going to go on with my presentation, since that was President Trump. So yeah, you guys noticed that the evil chair back there got a little bit of an upgrade. Actually got a big upgrade. It is now the Notre Dame chair. As we're heading into college football season, that's what we're going to be looking at. The Notre Dame chair. Dun, 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 dun. I'm a big Notre Dame fan. All right, so let's talk about Mr. John Bolton. Can we talk about John? John's not having a good day. Right now, they're camped out at his office. I don't know why the television cameras are all there, but they're camped out. So I got another feed zoomed in on John Bolton's office. So we'll see if he comes out, if there's any news to be made there. And in the interim, what I'll do is we got about 10 minutes if President Trump is on time before he gets to say what he's going to say in the Oval Office, which could be quite interesting to say the least. I mean, I'm not sure what he's going to come out with, but we shall all see it. Before that happens, let me talk to you today about today's show sponsor, and it's Krill Antarctic Oil. I talk a lot to you guys about being proactive, skating where the puck is going to be, whether it's about your finances, your career, or your health. And when it comes to your health, one of the smartest moves you can make, especially as we all get older, is protecting your heart, your brain, and for me especially, my joints. That's why I've added Native Path Krill Oil to my daily routine. Now you might be wondering, what in the heck is krill oil, and what's the difference between krill oil and other omega-3s like fish oil? Well, krill oil is not like regular fish oil. Native Path Krill Oil is sourced from pristine Antarctic waters. No microplastics, away from the heavy metals and toxins, all that stuff that you want to avoid. It's packed with powerful omega-3s in phospholipid form, which means your body actually absorbs them even better and up to 2 times more efficiently than normal typical fish oil you buy at the supermarket. But here's the kicker. Krill oil contains natural asafoethan, hope I said that correctly, which is one of nature's strongest antioxidants to help fight free radical damage, support brain clarity, and promote healthy aging. That is a powerful antioxidant that potentially neutralizes all those free radicals and reduces oxidative stress. Basically, it gives you more energy and it gives you better joint pain, or lessens your joint pain. It's been shown to be significantly more potent than any other antioxidants like vitamin C and vitamin E, which I'm not saying don't take your vitamin C. You should continue taking vitamin C. Research suggests krill oil may offer several benefits, including to your joints. It may reduce inflammation and improve joint pain. I can attest to that. It may support cardiovascular health by improving blood flow and reducing oxidative stress. It also may improve your memory and your cognitive performance. And it also may help your eyes and may improve visual fatigue. I can tell you from staring at lights and cameras and monitors, yes, you do get lots of eye fatigue. And especially it would help against age-related macular degeneration. Skin health. It may help protect against UV damage here in the summertime. Here in South Florida, we get a ton of sun. And it reduces the sign of aging, like wrinkles. Other potential benefits may also help with liver health, exercise, performance, and your metabolic health. The science is clear. So if you want to support your heart, your joints, and your brain and do it with a clean, highly absorbable source, go to this website right there, getkrill.com/Barry, and grab your krill oil for up to 66% off plus free shipping. That site again is getkrill.com/Barry. All right, so before President Trump comes out, let me get into the big news of today. And it's huge news, which you probably have already heard. And that's not it. Hold on.
We're back with the Fox News Alert. We're just learning the FBI agents have raided the Maryland home of former Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton. It happened at 7 a.m. this morning.
Shortly after the raid began, FBI Director Kash Patel posting on X, quote, "No one is above the law. FBI agents on a mission."
David Spunt joins us now with more on this breaking news. Hey, David.
Hey, guys, not much we can say at this point, but information will continue to develop. As you mentioned, about 7 o'clock this morning, FBI agents raided Ambassador Bolton's home. Notable, we're being told by 2 government sources that they are looking for classified documents as part of a potential leak investigation. We're told that Ambassador Bolton is not in custody. He's not under arrest, but it is notable they are at his Maryland home right now. We don't know how many.
He's not under arrest yet. That's what he should have said. He's not under arrest yet. Right now, they've got the search warrant. They're executing the search warrant. And they're climbing up his butt with a microscope. They're all over his house, and then they're also over at his office. Now, I saw in the chat, and it's a great question. And that question is, wouldn't he have destroyed the evidence or moved any evidence if he even took these so-called classified documents? Wouldn't he have moved them? Probably, maybe not. That's why they're doing a search warrant. In addition, and Maximus and other law enforcement officers can tell you, there may have been a snitch. There may have been somebody who goes, yeah, he moved some, but the other ones are located here. And here's where they are, and here's how you can find them. Remember, as you're watching this information, and if President Trump talks about it as well, just remember back a little while ago when they did it to Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago. Because now you're going to hear the liberal media try to do a whole bunch of backstroke. Oh, this is horrible. It's just retribution. You can bet your ass it's retribution. That's not going to be your defense at this point. Retribution, revenge. I don't care. You did it to President Trump. You did it to General Michael Flynn. You did it to Rudy Giuliani. You did it to Steve Bannon. You did it to Roger Stone. And now all of a sudden you're not supposed to do it. Well, they got a judge to sign off on it, but yeah, it's probably some corrupt judge. Oh, really? Tell us about corrupt judges. I have no harbor for these people. Go to hell. Don't tell us how you think this is weaponization when that's all you've done for the last couple of years. Last 9-10 years. That's all you guys have done is weaponize the FBI, the DOJ, and everything you could do to take down Trump. And now you're staring in the mirror. One of the things that President Trump said during that little thing he did at that center there, he said, Lisa Cook, I think that's her first name, the one who's got all kinds of mortgage fraud problems, he's like, yeah, straight up, unlike Jerome Powell, you're done. You either resign or you're fired. And your only two options at this point. If you resign, you might get to keep some pension or something. You get fired, get lost. And by the way, there's a guy over here waiting for you with some really shiny jewelry. Click, click. So he's already made up his mind on her. She's a fait accompli, meaning it's a done dealio. You're going to get fired or you're going to have to resign. Whether or not it's a fait accompli and you go into jail, that's another thing. But he just told everybody, you either resign or you're getting fired. So I don't want to hear anybody talk about this being retribution.
Agents are there. We're waiting to get a picture of the scene coming in right now. But we're told Ambassador Bolton, who was just on TV on another network a couple days ago talking about the Russia-Putin-Trump summit, is now under FBI investigation. Now, I want to be clear. These are long, and we're looking at some live photographs right now in Bethesda. That's clearly the road where Ambassador Bolton lives. And you can see some police cars outside there. But, you know, this is going to be a long process. We saw the raid of former Trump advisor Roger Stone's home down in Florida several years ago. Eventually, he went to trial. We saw famously in August of 2022, exactly 3 years ago, a little bit more than 3 years ago, the raid on Mar-a-Lago. That still has.
Isn't that interesting? Oh, almost 3 years to the day. When he said Liberation Day, he should have come out and said it's retribution time. It's retribution month. It now begins. It now begins. You got to imagine to yourself, there's a lot of people around Washington who probably had an idea the Retribution tour was beginning, and the first tour date was, you know, John Bolton. Got to wonder who the next tour date is on this tour. But you have to realize, or at least if you had any sense about you, you'd think, hey man, is he on to me? Is that why James Comey made that hostage video? Was he asking for help? Was he pleading? I don't know. But you got to feel that there's a lot of sphincter tightening in Washington right now, because the other thing with it, and law enforcement people will tell you, a lot of stuff happens before this, which means they've been watching these people for quite some time. They've been looking all over, watching their movements, where they're going. And so they know the spotlight's been on them wherever they go. There's a lot of people behind me. I don't see them, but they're there. And everything I do, if I buy the ice cream cone, they're going to know what flavor it is. Yeah. If they got this warrant, they probably got warrants to surveil them all over the place.
FBI in hot water. That's a little bit of a different situation as it was a former president, but it deals with classified documents, guys.
It is intriguing here because these are long-standing allegations that the book indicated or referenced classified material that he may have acquired when he was in the administration. We're not clear as to what that is, but it would suggest that it could be national defense information. The reason that's important is that creates a heightened potential penalty. So you can have penalties that range from 5 to 20 years. 20 years tends to be the sentences for concealing information, obstructing justice. Simply having classified information can weigh in at about 10 years. And
that means it got extended. And now you're part of that conspiracy. Who knows how they're going to tie all this stuff together. But you're looking at 10. John Bolton is looking at 10 years. Let me make sure I put the alleged. You may have to put that there so you don't get sued. The alleged arrest to come could be a 10-year sentence. Now, understand what Jonathan Turley just said. What he was referring to was there was an investigation during the Biden administration on everything Bolton was doing, and it got canceled. It got killed. And so you're going to hear the naysayers out there on X saying, oh, this is old news. This is old stuff. Well, it's only old stuff because the prior administration killed the investigation. Cash and Dan and Todd Blanche and Pam Bondi, they had to resume it. Basically, they had to exhume this thing from the death and say, okay, is there anything here? And why was it killed? Was it killed mainly because of political pressure? Or was there just nothing there? So obviously, they realized and have uncovered that the only reason the investigation to John Bolton stopped was because of political reasons, and there had to have been more flame under that smoke there.
Often multiple counts because each of those documents can be charged separately. So there is a strange history here. So you had these allegations coming out as early as the first Trump administration. Then there was an allegation that the Biden administration essentially scuttled a further look at this case. Right. And now we have this new development. But we really don't know if there's something that has occurred most recently, whether they uncovered something that they believed is sort of evergreen, that this is still a viable criminal case.
And ambassador. So this is a live shot of his office in Washington, D.C., and we're looking right now, per our colleagues from Fox Digital on the scene, a couple of FBI agents loading some stuff into cars and leaving the scene. So clearly not as big of a presence at his Bethesda home, but notable that he was spotted at his office earlier today. We're told, I want to be very clear, that he's not facing any charges at this moment. He is not in custody. He is not under arrest at this moment. So we've reached out to his attorney. We're reaching out to Ambassador Bolton himself.
So they said they were at his office. This is his office. Now, if you look closely, I don't know if you can see it on your phone or your tablets, but you should be able to see it on your television. You're looking at the cameras looking into the lobby of his office. In the glass, you can see, oh, good view. Thanks, Mr. Truck. You can see all the television cameras just waiting for somebody to show up. So they haven't seen the FBI agents come out yet, and they haven't seen John Bolton come out yet, but they're sitting there just fixed on that door. Now, I've checked the feed for President Trump. Nothing has happened. In fact, I think they say now it's been pushed back to 12:15. So that gives us plenty of time. So we can continue doing what we're going to be doing, and I'll be monitoring everything.
Well, we're here in Bethesda, in a residential neighborhood in Bethesda. This is the home of John Bolton, and what we've seen in the last few minutes, we've seen FBI agents come out, go into a couple of these vehicles, and retrieve boxes, which they then took back into the home. Now, over the last few hours, again, they've been here for about 3 hours now, Wolf, and we've seen them come out of these vehicles, take in boxes, what appear to be document boxes, go back into the house. We haven't seen them bring anything out of it, and so again, we don't know very much more about what this investigation about.
They're not taking anything out of it except the split screen shows everybody with arms full of stuff. There's CNN for you, with your, relatively peaceful protest. Well, hey, Wolf, we've been out here all day and we don't see anybody taking anything out. And meanwhile, they're showing people take stuff out. That is CNN for you right there. We don't see anything. Sorry.
Is about, except that we know it is related to an investigation into the possible retention of national security information. You remember, of course, that President Trump accused John Bolton of holding on to classified information, that he revealed classified information in a 2020 book that he published on his time serving during the first term of Donald Trump. He was fired in 2019, and so we don't know whether this is related to that investigation, which was closed in the early months of the Biden administration. We don't know if it's related to that or if there is some new information that came into the FBI that has caused this latest search. Now, as you mentioned, this is...
Or some new news that has caused this later search. See, if you listen when people say, they kind of tell you something must be going on. And maybe this is why Dan Bongino and some of these guys have been putting out these cryptic tweets. I don't know. But this can't be calming to the deep state. It has to be unsettling at very least.
One of two search scenes now from the FBI.
We're following major breaking news this morning that continues to unfold. The FBI conducting a court-authorized search at the home of John Bolton as part of a national security...
Okay, what she just said, she just gave up the ghost right there. The rest of what they say may turn into speculation. Court-authorized. She said it really quick in the first 4 or 5 seconds. Yeah, that is a court-authorized. Okay, thank you for just spitting that part out. Now what you're going to hear the liberal networks go into is like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. And they're going to forget what she just said. They're not going to basically understand that this was a sanctioned search. They got a court order. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm pretty sure you don't go get a court order as the first order of business in an investigation. Which means there's been an investigation going on, because in order to get the court order, you had to walk into the judge and say, okay, Your Honor, this is why we need this, because we see this, this, and this, and we think this is this, and we might be able to find it if we went and looked here. And the judge looks at it and goes, huh, that's pretty bad. Ooh, that's bad. That's bad. So you think it might be here? Yeah, I think it might be here. All right, go look. So it's not the start of an investigation that you get the search warrant to go in somebody's house. You had to present something to the judge. And what you're going to hear in the liberal networks here, they're going to forget that part. They're going to forget the part that there was a prior investigation happening, that they've been digging and digging and digging. They got to a point where they felt they had enough. They went to a judge. The judge gave them the search warrant, and then they executed it. It wasn't like Pam Bondi and Kash Patel were sitting around yesterday and go, let's go kick in John Bolton's door. Nope, that's not how it works. And so watch as I show you a couple clips from the liberal media, how they seem to forget this was a legal, authorized search by a sitting judge. You know, the people who say no one's above the law, you're going to be hard-pressed to believe that.
Investigation. That is according to a source familiar with the matter. A ton of questions around this right now. Our CNN crew has been on the ground, on the scene this morning, observed FBI personnel near Bolton's home, even seeing personnel go into his home. John Bolton, as you well know, is President Trump's former national security advisor and a former U.S. ambassador to the UN. In recent years, he has become a prominent critic of the president ever since he left the first Trump administration. As recently as this week, he spoke to us about President Trump's meeting with Vladimir Putin.
Well, I think it's a reflection of just how confident the Russians feel. They have escaped the sanctions that have been threatened by President Trump. They've heard Secretary of State Rubio say on Sunday, we're not going to sanction them because it will cause diplomatic efforts to fail. And they are trying to keep the table set so that things work out in their direction.
That was just a couple days ago.
Do you think CNN's doing John Bolton any favors by playing that? I would think John Bolton or his attorney would like, Ixnay, cut it, don't show the tapes anymore. Don't show me antagonizing Trump. Please, don't show that stuff. And what CNN's like, here he's trashing Trump, ain't it great? Yeah, but you're not him today.
Oh, CNN's Caitlyn Poland joining us now. Caitlyn, you brought us this breaking news and you have some new reporting already. What's going on?
That's right, Kate. We can confirm, according to a person familiar with this investigation, that the probe, it's related to the possible retention of national security information. So a little bit more specific on what we know about this investigation, this search that the FBI is conducting of John Bolton's home. Not only is it about national security, it is about the retention of national security information. Often, Kate, that looks like, are there classified documents being kept outside of where they should be kept? That often is what we see in investigations like this. But we're still waiting to hear more of what this is. The FBI, they are at work still on that scene in Maryland where John Bolton's home is. They took bags out of their vehicles to bring inside. There were 4 or 6 agents. They have those blazers on that say FBI in the back, so this is quite an observable scene right now, very different than when the retention of national security information was being investigated during a search of Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago property.
Very different. You might want to expound on that. You mean it didn't have amphibious vehicles and guys with rifles and everything in complete tactical gear like they did with Trump and Roger Stone? Is that what you mean by different? So you're telling me that these guys just have windbreakers on because there's no threat that they perceived. There's no threat in Mar-a-Lago, but still they went in with the amphibious vehicles outside and boats on the intercoastal and men in tactical gear with long guns. But hey, there's something different about this one.
Years ago, John Bolton, he has not been charged with anything here. He's not been in government for 6 years. He did write a book and was under investigation soon after he left the Trump administration in 2020. He was being investigated at that time by a federal grand jury in Washington on the possible disclosure of classified information in that book, and he was not charged there. So looking at the possibility of a through line, it seems to be more likely, given that this is about the retention of national security information.
Breaking news into the Fanfare news feed.
All right, so I had to stop that because SV just sent me something, and I'm just going to put an exclamation as I show this to you, with President Trump due to come out at any minute in the Oval Office. I'm being told at this point it's around 12:15 or so. He hasn't come out, but he's going to be coming out. And I find this, what I'm about to show you, quite coincidental. And I don't believe in coincidences. This is crazy. Something is about to go down. I hope President Trump isn't building this up and going to talk about the drapes at the Kennedy Center. Look at this. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth has ordered airmen and soldiers, I didn't know, airmen, and soldiers with the National Guard who are patrolling the streets in Washington to begin being armed today, with roughly 2,000 troops now deployed to the city from several Republican-led states in the D.C. area, District of Columbia. No details or reason for this change were given by the Pentagon. So now everybody who's been patrolling, you're now arming up. 2,000 troops, plus Secret Service, plus Metropolitan Police, plus Capitol Police, you got thousands and thousands of potential law enforcement officers in Washington, D.C., who are now going to be arming up just before the president comes on and makes an announcement, because there's some gangbangers doing some crazy shit in Washington. You got to be looking like, oh crap, what's about to happen? Do I have water in the house? Do we have gas? Get some cash? You got some pew-pew weapons? Something's about to go down. And I would hate to, an hour from now, go, that's it? That's what you called this emergency thing for in the Oval Office? This was it? I gotta believe we're gonna hear something, because there's no reason for these people to all of a sudden be armed unless they've possibly heard of a threat of some sort. Don't know. And he's not out yet. No, none of the feeds are live, so we shall see. Back to the search warrant, where it looks a little bit different.
There hasn't been a formal comment yet that we have received from John Bolton or from his lawyer. He was unaware of the FBI activity this morning. He wasn't home at the time. And we also are waiting to see if the administration will say anything publicly. So far, some cryptic messages posted on social media by the two top officials at the FBI. Kash Patel, the FBI director, on the platform X, writing, "No one is of the law, FBI agents on mission." That was right after 7 a.m. this morning.
I don't think that's cryptic. I'm pretty sure that's directed. No one is above the law. There's nothing cryptic about it. No one. That means nobody, including those people, are above the law. What in the hell is cryptic about it? Hey, that's not a comm. That's a direct statement. That means, watch your butt. Here we go.
And then the deputy FBI director, Dan Bongino, posting, "Public corruption will not be tolerated," not mentioning John Bolton by name in either of those things. This is...
All right, let me ask you. You guys are in the comment section here. Is that cryptic? Or can anybody with like a 7th grade education understand no one is above the law and public corruption will not be tolerated? Okay, what does this mean? It means your ass is going to jail if you did something. That's what it means. Pretty easy to understand that. There's nothing cryptic. What you may find cryptic is, who does it pertain to? That's what she's saying.
The situation that would be court authorized, so the FBI would have gone to a court with the help of Justice Department prosecutors asking to have the approval of a search like this take place. They would have had to have probable cause to do this, but that, as we know, is a far, far long way from potential charges and also potential trial, anything like that. Kate?
It's far, far, far away from anything like potential charges. Just how far is it away from a potential charge? So you're telling me, Miss Lady on CNN, if they walked in and they found a box and this box had certain stuff in it, I don't know, all kinds of stuff, letters, emails, communications that he's not supposed to have, it's a far, far, far time away from being arrested. You don't get this, do you? You don't even know what they're taking out. You don't even know what they're looking for. What if by chance they found, kitty stuff in there? You think it's a far, far time before he's arrested? Why would you even say that? Why would you even make inference that, no, this had nothing, don't worry about it. No, we got plenty of time, nothing's happening. I'm telling you what, if I'm sitting here talking to you and all of a sudden I see the door over there get kicked in and some guys come in with long rifles, I don't know about you, but I'm not thinking it's a far, far, far time away from them coming in and arresting me. In fact, they probably would have to arrest me. I'll tell you where Jimmy Hoff is buried. I promise. I know.
Thought that the president's summit in Alaska with Vladimir Putin was going to be a disaster. In fact, even before the summit occurred, he said that Trump had handed Putin a win. In fact, Trump went to social media to criticize Bolton for those comments. And now, a few days later, we have this. We don't know there's a link, but we certainly know this is a president who has promised retribution.
Yeah, this is chilling.
It really is.
Trust me, there's a couple thousand people watching right now. I'm talking. SV's on here. Ashley might be on. Not chilly to us. The only people right now who feel a little bit chilly are the people who got something to worry about. None of us feel chilled and worried. There's no hair except, you know what the chilling part is that we used to think, up until, what, January 21st or so, we used to think that Fridays were slow news days. We used to say, yeah, we're going to sleep in, and then I'm going to do some running around, and then, I don't know, about 2 or 3 o'clock, I'll come up with some sort of show to do because, you know, there ain't much going on. Biden's sleeping, and here we are 7 months into the Trump administration. It's like, don't sleep. Don't. The phone starts going, bzz, bzz. I'm like, what? Oh my gosh. Don't sleep for Nessum Dorma, bitches. Excuse me, did I say that? That's what he meant. No sleep. You don't know when he's coming. I couldn't imagine when he walked out there this morning and told the people in the press, let's go, we're going for a ride. Huh? Unannounced. Yesterday, hey, I understand it's Thursday night. We're going to go give some, hamburgers and pizza to the guys outside. Really? Okay. No sleep. Which amazes me is because even in our chat, we have people who say stuff like, he looks tired. Dude, I'm tired. I'm not the president. I don't get all the stress of being the president. I'm tired as hell. This guy doesn't stop. Nonstop. And today he walked out and he didn't even put his makeup on. He's a very, very fair-skinned guy. And when you see him on television or an appearance, he's got his makeup on. Television makeup. He knows how to get makeup on. He's a former television star. But he doesn't sleep, man. I mean, it's crazy. I've got SV, I've got Ashley, I've got Robin, I've got Roaring Ray, Beth. Everybody's working on this. Severo, everybody. Like, hey, you see the notifications? I'm like, you're kidding me. I'm just sitting here hanging out. I was getting ready to get in the pool, and 10 o'clock, they're like, yeah, you need to get going. He's doing something. And then during the show, I keep getting all this stuff. SV is amazing. He feeds me. Hey, here, let me just show you. Executive order aligns with federal authority under Title 10 and the Insurrection Act of 2025, which mandates armed deployment when state local forces fail to secure public order. DC's crime surge, homicides up 37% year to date, justifies arming the National Guard troops to protect federal assets and civilians. The Pentagon shift isn't arbitrary. It's a direct response to escalating violence targeting law enforcement. When mayors and governors refuse to enforce the law, federal intervention becomes non-negotiable. Weakness invites chaos. Strength restores it. The legal, political, and public safety stakes are all on the table. You can see the full analysis. It's still got to be more than that. still has to be more than that. I'm pretty sure I feel confident in saying there's something else going on. So, definitely something else. All right, so it's 12:23, and I've got no live feed yet. Nobody has come on, and I'm just making sure before I continue. Nothing yet. So he's late, which I would have expected, but let's continue. Luckily, I have content for you.
Listen, John Bolton and I disagreed on many things back in the days when I was serving in public office. But I don't think very many people that know John Bolton would argue that his beliefs were intellectually sound. You could disagree with him, and that he gave a lot to this country in terms of time and his intellect and his work ethic. And clearly, this is retribution. Clearly, this is using the FBI in a way that not only tarnishes the FBI, but it tarnishes our country. I mean,
all right, so as she's saying this, you have to realize these are the same people who stood up and applauded when Donald Trump had the raid at Mar-a-Lago. Applauded. No one's above the law. How many times did you hear Letitia James and all these people say it? over and over and over. And now they're reduced to begging. And what I mean begging is because you're trying to convince the nuts on your side that there's nothing to it. There's nothing to worry about. He's an upstanding guy. He was a good kid. This is all retribution. There's nothing else. But again, in order for you to believe this, you have to ignore the previous announcement in the first 5 seconds on CNN. Those first 5 seconds were, this was a court-ordered warrant that is being executed. So retribution, in order for it to be retribution, everybody involved, including the judge, must seek retribution on John Bolton and whoever comes next. Again, understanding the process. A warrant was issued, signed by a court. The guy in the court, or woman, whoever the judge was, looked at, you don't just get a search warrant. Hey, can you just give me this, sign this so I can go? No, what you got? And they have to look at it. And there has to be enough in that warrant with the evidence that you attach to that warrant to get the judge to go, all right, go take a look. That doesn't, and the one thing the lady said, well, she said time, doesn't mean you're going to get a conviction, but they're downplaying the even execution of a search warrant. They don't want people on their side to even know that a judge agreed with it. This is all Trump. Oh, he's just, and weaponization. Well, if it's the weaponization, I would love for this to be an Obama judge. That would be funny as hell. It probably isn't. But they're indicting the entire legal process here. That's something you have to remember.
Countries where they don't have rule of law. This is what happens when despots take over, like Putin. And John Bolton has always been critical of how, I mean, he about lost it when Trump wanted to invite the Taliban to Camp David. It's chilling. Now, do I think they're ever going to have evidence to convict this man of anything in a court of law with a jury? No, they won't.
How could she possibly know that? That is merely fodder for their audience. You have to separate what they're saying. I try not to say that. In fact, I say with complete honesty, I don't know what they're going to find. I don't know, but I do know a judge said, you got enough you piqued my interest. Let me go see if what you said tells me there might be something here. She left all that out. She said, there's no possible way they can get a conviction. Well, maybe she's thinking you can't get a conviction in Washington, D.C. Maybe they're so confident right now that things can't happen in the deep state swampland of Washington, D.C. But they got a search warrant in Washington, D.C. So there's some judge somewhere who said there's something worth looking at.
It can make him miserable.
Scott, I mean, what do you see here?
This is genius gold. I don't know, when they call you for the hit on the networks, having gotten the call, they will call and say, hey, listen, I need you at 12:15. Okay, I'll be ready. And it might be 12:20, 12:25 when you get brought in. But Scott, when you hear this, you'll realize how smart some of these people are. Scott Jennings gets asked this question, and he pulled the information. Either he did it this morning, but this is gold.
Well, I'm reminded of something that I heard someone say after the Mar-a-Lago raid, and the statement was everybody ought to just calm down, whether you're pro-Trump or anti-Trump, and let the process work its way through. That was said by John Bolton himself after the Mar-a-Lago raid on Trump.
And I think it's important that everybody take a deep breath here. This is a very serious matter, and it would be better if we could let the legal process play out. I know that may be frustrating to some people, but the seriousness of it itself dictates that we try and proceed in the most orderly way we can.
Look, I try
Scott Jennings goes on CNN and he referenced that clip, and then I had to go find that clip. Where did John Bolton say this? Where can I find this clip? I found it. His exact words. Hey, you got to let it all play out, okay? Because this is some serious stuff, talking about national security. It's some serious stuff. So you got to let it play all out. And Scott's like, yeah, this guy said the exact same thing. What are you guys worried about? Let it play out. It was his words. Nothing to worry about right now. I mean, I just love that he quoted it, and I was able to find it. Listen again.
After the Mar-a-Lago raid on Trump.
And I think it's important that everybody take a deep breath here. This is a very serious matter, and it would be better if we could let the legal process play out. I know that may be frustrating to some people, but the seriousness of it itself dictates that we try and proceed in the most orderly way we can.
Look, I
try to proceed. just chill. Good. Now, Ashley sent me something. It was very interesting. This is from Don Jr. And Don Jr. says he's talking about Charlie Spearing posted this. What a photo. George Conway, complete anti-Trumper, live streams outside John Bolton's house as the FBI is raiding it. Interesting. And Don Jr. is like, someone's going to have to explain why George Conway was already at John Bolton's house at the crack of dawn. Maybe George Conway is going to get his turn in the barrel real quick here. Why were you there as they were getting ready to do the search warrant at whatever it was, 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning? That's very interesting. SV sent me something, and this may be why it's delayed. It is 12:20. It's 12:31 right now. This was posted at 12:25. The FBI is still conducting their raid at John Bolton's area home and office. 5 hours after the operation began. These agents are tearing through absolutely everything. Bolton's days of freedom are numbered. Oh my goodness. 5 hours. Let me run that video so you can see it. There's a visual here. Don't really need the audio. But uh-oh. I see tactical gear. Is that Bolton? Oh, that's a woman. Wow. So they are still tearing through that's his home. The office, again, if I show that to you, there's been nobody has come out yet. I feel bad for the other tenants who work there, who are probably wondering, so should we leave? Should we stay here? Whatever. Lots of stuff going on. Back to the crying in the liberal media.
Engage too much in conjecture on these things. All we really know is what Caitlyn just told us, that this is related to an investigation regarding information he put in his book. We know that they're searching for things, and that's it. That's what we know. And so Ambassador Bolton's previous views on this were that processes should be allowed to work their way through. I assume this one will work its way through, and
any given moment. But I don't think he cared about...
All right, so hold on a second. I do have information on what's the delay. President Trump's announcement from the Oval Office, which was supposed to be at noon, is delayed as Trump is not currently at the White House. He's apparently still at the Kennedy Center, but the press has been left waiting outside. So he's out there still walking around. Yeah, we're going to fix this, we're going to fix that, and we're going to do all this stuff. Boss, you got a meeting at 12. I'll be there. I'll be there. Just ain't nobody doing nothing without me, so I'll get there when I get there, which is seemingly what's going on. Oh my goodness, this man is incredible. You know what was funny? Just to break stride a second. In addition, when people said he was tired, there's some things I think you miss. When he's talking, and he's talking about, hey, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to remove this stuff here. We're going to put down some good asphalt, the kind of asphalt that's like grade 1, and then we're going to topper it with all this. And I know it must just leave people in the, like, what in the hell is he talking about? This guy has been doing development for so long, he can look at something and go, no, we need to put a topper on here, put it like a 1/4 inch thicker, then we're going to grade it and make sure it's level and everything else, make sure there's a pitch to it. And everybody else standing around is going, what in the hell is this guy talking about? I work in a communications office in the White House. I don't have shit to do with pouring asphalt. And then he went on and said, we're going to have to do this with the marble. Because the marble, when you do it this way, you lay it and you got to do the grout. And I'd be like, what in the hell is he talking about? They can't even speak his language. Neither can these nuts in the media. Let's continue with them.
The classification system, I don't think he appreciated the sensitivity of this information, and he didn't appreciate the sensitivity of how it was often acquired, the so-called sources and methods. So this had been briefed to him before I arrived. It was repeated frequently. I think it simply had no impact on him whatever.
There's a couple of different ways that people think about this, and people who are not friendly to the president who think about what's happened here. And one of them is, Donald Trump, master thief, criminal, running some kind of elaborate conspiracy to bring things out of the White House and keep them secret for potentially for political or financial gain. There are other people who his attitude is Trump is chaotic, he's careless, he's not that smart. He took these things almost by mistake, and now he's basically stamping his feet and saying they're mine. I don't want to give them up. Give me a sense of where you think the truth lies with respect to Trump's intelligence, carelessness, and the degree to which he might have brought motive to bear on taking these documents out of the White House and keeping them for this long at Mar-a-Lago.
I got no comment. You can hear how that guy talked and realize what part of that denigration would you want me to acknowledge? He's stupid. He's stupid. He's not that smart. Wow. And then of course John Bolton, he takes the bait.
Well, it's very hard to speculate on motive other than that he liked cool things. He saw things so he wanted to take them, and he was pretty much able to take them, and not just on classified information matters, on all kinds of things that crossed his desk. Some days he liked to eat a lot of French fries. Some days he took classified documents. He wanted them. Why?
Dude, you deserve to be locked up. You're that much of an asshat, I'll say that. I want to say the real word. Sometimes he has French fries, sometimes you elitist piece of crap. Seriously, did you just say that? Sometimes he takes French fries, sometimes he takes, classified documents. You don't know. These people hate this man. These people hate you. They want nothing to do with MAGA. You're upsetting the apple cart, and the sooner you go away, the better.
Did he want them because he could get them?
No, I don't know about it. I saw it on television this morning. I'm not a fan of John Bolton. He's a real sort of a lowlife. When I hired him, he served a good purpose because, as you know, he was one of the people that forced Bush to do the ridiculous bombings in the Middle East. Bolton, he wants to always kill people, and he's very bad at what he does, but he worked out great for me because every time he doesn't talk, he's like a very quiet person, except on television. If he could say something bad about Trump, he'll always do that, but he really doesn't talk. He's quiet. And I'd walk into a room with him with a foreign country, and the foreign country would give me everything because they said, oh no, they're going to get blown up because John Bolton was there. He's not a smart guy, but he could be a very unpatriotic guy. I mean, we're going to find out. I know nothing about it.
He could be a very unpatriotic guy. We're going to find out. So he paid him back with not too smart, but that piece right there at the end, that very last piece, he could be a very unpatriotic guy, but we'll find out. Oh, yeah, Mr. Bolton. Bend over, you're about to take it, bro. This could be bad.
Just saw it this morning. They did a raid.
Do you expect the DOJ to brief you on this?
Yeah, they'll brief me, probably today sometime.
And the foreign minister...
I tell Pam and I tell the group, I don't want to know, but just you have to do what you have to do. I don't want to know about it. It's not necessary. I could know about it. I could be the one starting it. I'm actually the chief law enforcement officer. But I feel that it's better this way.
I think a lot of Republicans right now just wish Kash Patel, Tulsi Gabbard, and a number of other Trump nominees would just go away.
I bet you feel the exactly same way. I wish they all would just go away. When I found that piece, I was like, that's gold. That is definitely going in the opening here. I just wish they'd all just go away. I bet you play that in your sleep over and over, John, right now. So Monica Page just posted something. I don't like it. I don't like it. If this is what we're all getting ready for, I don't like it. You're not going to like this. Okay? Let me just tell you, you're not going to like this. Sources, including a White House official, said that President Trump, the announcement is going to be about the Soccer World Cup draw, which will take place at the Kennedy Center in December. Trump is currently at the Kennedy Center, but the announcement is still expected this afternoon. Seriously, bro? Seriously? You announced last night or this morning you're gonna be at the Oval Office with an announcement. You see a raid happening, all over with John Bolton, and your big announcement is that the draw is gonna be at the Kennedy Center. Seriously? I understand you're trolling at this point. You're keeping people moving, but you could have told us. Could have sent out a memo. By the way, it's just about the soccer. We're gonna roll out and give all the National Guard their guns. Ooh, things looking spicy. It's just about soccer. No, come on, Monica. You gotta tell me it was something else. It's got to be more than that. Oh my goodness, it's just craziness. I'm sorry, I got nothing for you. If that's what it is, that's crazy, absolutely crazy. All right, so in any event, that's what's going on right now. That and the fact of, I don't know if you guys saw this. Let me bring in here some news for you. That sucks so bad. Breaking in a stunning blow to the experts, Canada is removing the retaliatory tariffs on the United States. Trump won again. Won again.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
So I thought he was going to come on at 12 o'clock, like he said. And then I also thought that he'd be late, and so I had some content ready. And now it's 45 minutes later, and he's still not come out. And when he does come out, it seems like it might be about soccer. And I feel like I just got all dressed up to go home, to do nothing. In the interim, I've got a couple things I can bring up for you that you guys can see, because we're not just going to be sitting here doing nothing. This is Mark Carney. He's talking right now, the Prime Minister of Canada, and we can listen in on what he's saying, and then in the interim, I'll keep a close monitor on everything else, because Canada has dropped its tariffs as well. Let's take a look at, listen.
Determine what the role of Canada and other countries will be. We need a backstop in the form of the U.S. But yes, I have had conversations, including with President Trump, over the course of the past week. Progress is being made. And a final point, if I may. There is now an opportunity to put an end to this horrible, illegal, unjustified.
There is no way that a country, the entire country, should have worse audio and AV people than people sitting in their home office doing a podcast. That's embarrassing, Canada. Do something about your audio. Give me a second. SV just told me Jerome Powell was making some stupid statements. I can bring that on. So let me go ahead and talk to you about Lear Capital and gold and silver. If you guys want to get into the gold and silver market with everything you're seeing, the craziness, how some corporations, you can't trust corporations anymore. I bet you there's some people holding some Cracker Barrel stock this morning and just went like, what the hell happened? Why did you do this? These people aren't being good stewards of people's money. They're just making decisions in boardrooms based upon DEI, and you're sitting there with some Cracker Barrel stock, and then the bottom drops out. But you know what is very stable? Gold is very stable, and silver is even more affordable than gold, and it has the same amount of safety.
It's genius. It's pure genius. America is the country that started the AI race, and as President of the United States, I'm here today to declare that America is going to win it. We're going to work hard. We're going to win it.
Why do so many financial experts call silver the most undervalued asset today? Because silver is essential to the future, from solar tech and electric vehicles to the explosive growth of artificial intelligence. Demand is rising fast, and yet silver is still trading at a bargain. With billions pouring into AI, silver prices have only one place to go, and that's up. In fact, silver may be the most overlooked asset class in financial planning. The opportunity for silver is well documented. The market for silver could double or even triple by 2026. You see, I believe in hard assets like this bar of silver. You can hold it in your hand, you can put it in your IRA, you can put it in your home safe, and relative to gold, it's very affordable. That's why I urge you to call my friends at Lear Capital and get their free report, The AI Revolution, and see why silver prices could be set to soar. Call 800-601-5430 or go to learberry.com. But don't wait. We all know. We've seen it. The government can print lots and lots of dollars, but they can't print silver. All right, so I'm getting the feed ready for Jerome Powell. Believe it or not, this guy is still making all kinds of excuses about why he needs to keep the interest rates high and everything else. It's a complete sham. Hold on a second. Let me pull this in. Actually, I want to go to a better source. Hold on one second. Let me put on the break music, and I will be right back so I can get this source for you.
Somewhere to be every night of the week. Seems God ain't close as he used to be. And there's more tequila in this old town than pines in Tennessee. I ain't the man I thought I'd be. And these neon lights that keep me up got me thinking maybe mom and dad had it right all along. We're too old to still be alone, and we ain't happy ever after all. I'm just saying it wouldn't be as bad as we made it out, living in our hometown. You find a girl and get married before you're 20. But I've been running like a southbound train, as fast as a northern summer with no one to love. And it's making me wonder if maybe mom and dad had it right all along, and we're too old to still be alone, and we ain't.
The balance of risks appears to be shifting. In my remarks today, I will first address the current economic situation and the near-term outlook for monetary policy. I will then turn to the results of our second public review of our monetary policy framework, as captured in the revised Statement on Longer-Run Goals and Monetary Policy Strategy that we released today. When I appeared at this podium 1 year ago, the economy was at an inflection point. Our policy rate had stood at 5.25% to 5.5% for more than a year. That restrictive policy stance was appropriate to help bring down inflation and to foster a sustainable balance between aggregate demand and supply. Inflation had moved much closer to our objective, and the labor market had cooled from its formerly overheated state. Upside risks to inflation had diminished, but the unemployment rate had increased by almost a full percentage point, a development that historically has not occurred outside of recessions. Over the subsequent 3 Federal Open Market Committee meetings, we recalibrated our policy stance, setting the stage for the labor market to remain in balance near maximum employment over the past year. This year, the economy has faced new challenges. Significantly higher tariffs across our trading partners are remaking the global trading system. Tighter immigration policy has led to an abrupt slowdown in labor force growth. Over the longer run, changes in tax, spending, and regulatory policies may also have important implications for economic growth and productivity. There is significant uncertainty about where all of these policies will eventually settle and what their lasting effects on the economy will be. Changes in trade and immigration policies are affecting both demand and supply. In this environment, distinguishing cyclical developments from trend or structural developments is difficult. This distinction is critical because monetary policy can work to stabilize cyclical fluctuations, but can do little to alter structural changes. The labor market is a case in point. The July employment report, released earlier this month, showed that payroll job growth slowed to an average pace of only 35,000 per month over the past 3 months, down from 168,000 per month during 2024. This slowdown is much larger than assessed just a month ago, as the earlier figures for May and June were revised down substantially. But it does not appear that the slowdown in job growth has opened up a large margin of slack in the labor market, an outcome we want to avoid. The unemployment rate, while edging up in July, stands at a historically low level of 4.2% and has been broadly stable over the past year. Other indicators of labor market conditions are also little changed or have softened only modestly, including quits, layoffs, the ratio of vacancies to unemployment, and nominal wage growth. Labor supply has softened in line with demand, sharply lowering the break-even rate of job creation needed to hold the unemployment rate constant. Indeed, labor force growth has slowed considerably this year with the sharp fall-off in immigration, and the labor force participation rate has edged down in recent months. Overall, while the labor market appears to be in balance, it is a curious kind of balance that results from a marked slowing in both the supply of and demand for workers. This unusual situation suggests that downside risks to employment are rising. And if those risks materialize, they can do so quickly in the form of sharply higher layoffs and rising unemployment. At the same time, GDP growth has slowed notably in the first half of this year to a pace of 1.2%, roughly half the 2.5% pace in 2024. The decline in growth has largely reflected a slowdown in consumer spending. As with the labor market, some of the slowing in GDP likely reflects slower growth of supply or potential output. Turning to inflation, higher tariffs have begun.
All right, so just to let you know, we had movement for a second. They were getting the camera set up, so I don't think it'll be too much longer that we can go to it. But I do have some new breaking news for you. And
breaking news into the Fanfare news feed.
Washington, what do you know, David?
Well, hi, Dana. Two well-placed sources familiar with the probe tell Fox News that New York Attorney General Letitia James and her office is under investigation by the DOJ here in Washington. We're told that Attorney General Pam Bondi signed off on the probe. Subpoenas were sent to James's office, and there is a grand jury investigation underway in the New York State capital of Albany. The specific investigation, my colleague Jake Gibson, Ashley Oliver, and myself are being told involves deprivation of rights, which in plain language means someone in a position of legal authority violating someone else's constitutional or legal rights. Those sources tell Fox News the DOJ is going after James because she took then former President Donald Trump to court, quote, simply because she didn't like him and campaigned on getting him. DOJ, led by Bondi, believes she violated his First Amendment rights dealing with free speech. James has said before she believed Trump inflated his net worth to get good deals on loans from lenders and other financial benefits. Ms. James won in a court judgment of over $450 million against the Trump organization. Trump is appealing, and it's pending. The entire scope of the grand jury probe in Albany, Dana, is unclear. Grand juries are secretive, but we've learned from these well-placed sources it stems from a recent strike force set up inside the Justice Department to investigate an alleged plot to tie Trump to Russia in 2016. Sources say that strike force has expanded to other topics. Now, to recap, the Justice Department has initiated grand jury proceedings in Albany, New York, against the Empire State Attorney General Letitia James. But remember, this is important. A grand jury simply decides if there's enough evidence to indict. To be clear, we are told this is very early in the process, and no one, as I speak to you right now, is facing any charges at this time. Fox News reached out to Attorney General James's office multiple times, but we've yet to hear back.
It's amazing to me that the efforts that these people go to make sure they don't get sued. Now, this doesn't really mean anything. Now, understand, doesn't mean she's going to get arrested. How many times over the years have you heard you can indict a ham sandwich? We have heard that so many times, but now, hey, it doesn't really mean what you think it might mean. Oh, hell yes, it does. Especially since it's not happening in New York City, it's happening in Albany, which is red for the most part, I would think. I don't know why they say this kind of crap. She's going to get indicted. They open a grand jury. The grand jury, the amount of evidence you need to indict with a grand jury, it's not that much. And remember, it's all one-sided. So it's the prosecution that puts up, what's going to be happening and how it's going to be happening. You don't get to put on your case until after you've been arrested. Wow. This is amazing. It's Friday afternoon and this is happening. So just to let you know, I can see on a number of different cameras at this point that it appears they're getting the feed set up. So he should be coming back relatively soon. Here, let me see if I can't show this to you. You can see, I don't know why they're showing this cut, but this is what they're showing. So they're setting up cameras, and I guess that's a Secret Service woman. I don't know, I guess the other one is a staffer, but the production is getting set for, I guess, President Trump to come back. So we shall see relatively soon how this thing shakes out. In the interim, okay, so now you just heard about Big Letty being open to the grand jury. I found this piece on CNN, and I have it. I think you've heard this from somebody else. Let me tell me.
I mean, you've heard from Andrew and Caitlyn that there has to be some showing of probable cause to a federal judge. This just isn't Donald Trump's or Kash Patel's anger or vitriol coming to roost here. There are line FBI agents, career prosecutors, career people in the Department of Justice who assembled a case file that had to go to a federal judge, presumably who doesn't take any of these things lightly, and show a probable cause, more likely than not, that there was evidence of a crime of some sort contained in John Bolton's house. So while this, John Berman said earlier, this has a really bad look to it, this has probably been going on now for quite some time. This isn't pulled together in a few hours. This investigation has most likely been going on for quite some time to get to this point. The timing is optically, it looks political because of, as you said, John Berman alluded to it, that, Bolton was on criticizing the president heavily. He's been a big detractor of Donald Trump's, has said a lot of not nice things about Donald Trump, but that does not still underlie the fact that there may be some there, and that a federal judge someplace found that there's more likely than not something here in this house that contains evidence of a crime.
Who said that? I'm not sure. I think somebody said it about half an hour ago. That was me. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what I said. CNN, you could have called me and saved some time. It is not a witch hunt. Everything that guy just said is exactly the truth. This could not happen without a judge signing off, which means you had to show the judge something. Stop with the propaganda and the gaslighting. I'm not even an attorney, I can tell you that. So I think yesterday, I don't know if most of you have seen, but a judge yesterday decided what they were going to do was tell the Trump administration and Ron DeSantis to basically go pound sand, and you got to stop. You cannot deport anybody else. You can't do anything. We are not going to allow you at all to keep using alligator Alcatraz. Well, my man from down here, Ron DeSantis, had something to say to that judge this morning.
Processing Center down in South Florida at Alligator Alcatraz. I just wanted to just say this was not something that was unexpected. This is a judge that was not going to give us a fair shake. This was preordained. Very much an activist judge that is trying to do policy from the bench. This is not going to deter us. We're going to continue working on the deportations, advancing that mission. We knew that this would be something that would likely happen, and we will respond accordingly. That have already been ordered to be removed by the current system, and yet the previous administration didn't want to do anything about it. We're now in this position where we're leading the state efforts to help the Trump administration actually enforce the law and actually remove these illegal aliens from not just Florida, but from our country. And that's something that we didn't have for 4 years. And now that's something that we're absolutely on board with making sure happens going forward. And so we're not going to be deterred. We're totally in the right on this. But I would also note, because of the success of Alligator Alcatraz, there's demand for more. So I did announce that we are going to be opening another facility right outside of Jacksonville in Baker County, and we've called that the Deportation Depot. And so that is something that will be able to hold another 2,000. There's an airport close by, and so you have the processing and then the removal.
My governor. Yeah, you can tell, hey, judges, we're going to give you the, the middle finger salute here. Not going to stop. You can't make us. Remember, in order for a judgment to be not even legal, to be enforced, you have to call somebody. The judge in the black robe isn't going to go out there and stop anything. And so now again, I keep telling you, we are at that position where civil war is here. Because you have members of the judiciary who think they're big shit, excuse my language, and they're issuing decrees that they can't enforce. Well, the judge said, okay, well, let the judge go stop people from going into Alligator Alley. Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters ain't coming. I love it. You can't call the state police. You can't call the Florida Highway Patrol. You can't call what we call down here FDLE, Florida Department of Law Enforcement. Can't call, who are you going to call? Can't call the National Guard. You have no ability to enforce the paper you just signed. All you have is media. Oh, DeSantis is ignoring the judge's order. Yeah, pretty much. We don't recognize it. Get lost. Put it whatever file you want to put it in. We're not doing it. We're getting rid of these people one after the other, and the planes are going to fly. And not only are we not closing Alligator Alcatraz, we're opening up a second one up in Jacksonville called Deportation Depot. That's how it gets done. That's how you treat these liberals at this point. Pretty soon, and obviously you're seeing it up in Washington, Trump's not even going to fall for this crap anymore. Not at all. Let's see here. Looking at this Bolton's office, don't see much going on there. Looking at the other feed, and the other feed basically is just fixed on the White House, and nothing yet. So what I think I'm Leonard Skinner. What we can do is probably take some comments here while we're waiting, and let's see here. Let me just put this up so I don't miss it in case something happens. So I can see, and I can see all the different feeds here. Yep. Right now there's just a look at the White House as they're trying to get ready. All right. So he's not there yet. So let's take some comments and maybe make sure that, wait a minute, SV posted something else here. What SV port? Oh, this is new. How'd they get him on? No, how'd they get him on television so quick? So SV just sent me a video. How did this happen? It says live at 11:53. Yeah. All right. So let me pull this in real quick. Thank you, SV. JD Vance had sat down with Christian Welker of MSNBC, whatever the hell they're called right now, and he let her know, well, as soon as I pull this in, let me bring it to you. Once I get into my new studio setup, this is going to be so much better. Oh, wait a second. Okay, hold on.
What do you think? Hey, Brian.
It is about soccer.
We have a very big announcement to make today.
What a letdown.
You all know Johnny. He came all the way from Italy, the beautiful country of Italy, to be with us. And he just got off the plane, and he's a hardworking guy, does a phenomenal job with FIFA. Nobody like him. I'm delighted to welcome FIFA President Gianni Infantino back to the White House for a major announcement about one of the most anticipated competitions in all of sports, the 2026, and this is a big deal, I'll tell you, I was so happy to get it, the 2026 FIFA World Cup. And it's going to be the World Cup as we know it. It's the biggest, probably the biggest event in sports, I guess, Johnny, right?
Yeah.
On December 5th of this year, the 2026 FIFA World Cup draw will take place at the Kennedy Center. Some people refer to it as the Trump Kennedy Center, but we're not prepared to do that quite yet, maybe in a week or so. But right here in Washington, D.C., it's a tremendous honor to bring the global event and this incredible group of people and these unbelievable athletes, the best athletes in the world, to the cultural center of our nation's capital. I just left the Kennedy Center. We're spending a lot of money wisely on making it really beautiful. It's going to be beautiful again. It's like Washington, D.C. We had, by the way, in Washington, D.C., we have the lowest crime numbers they've had in years. Zero, it sounds like it's a horrible thing to say, but I might as well say it. Zero murders in the last week since we've done this. That's the first time in memory that that's happened, if you can believe it, how pathetic that is to have to even say it. And I'm tired of listening to these people say how safe it was before we got here. It was unsafe. It was horrible. And Mayor Bowser better get her act straight, or she won't be mayor very long, because we'll take it over with the federal government, run it like it's supposed to be run. The numbers were horrible. It was a crime-infested rat hole, and they do have a lot of rats. We're getting rid of them, too. And we've made a lot of progress, and it was extremely unsafe, and now it's extremely safe. We had virtually no crime. The number was down 87%, and I'm trying to figure out where was the 13%, because I don't think it existed. The National Guard has been unbelievable, and they're working with the police, and they have some very good people in there. They have some people that shouldn't be police, actually, but they have some great people there. And the Washington, D.C. is a whole different place, and Johnny, I'm sure you'll be happy to hear that too, actually.
Oh, yes.
But it's a whole different place. People are excited again. They're going out to restaurants again. That was the other thing I saw numbers. That restaurant business is down in the last week. No. Restaurant business, you can't get into a restaurant. Just really lying people. And that's why people don't understand how bad and how dishonest the press is. I saw one poll that had us at 19% favorable on what we're doing with Washington. Then I saw another one that has us 94% favorable. And I can tell you the 94% is correct. The others are fake, just fake news. They got to get their act together. So bad for our country, so sick, actually. So Washington, D.C. is really doing unbelievably well. And the Kennedy Center that we're fixing, I was just there all morning with contractors. We're making it unbelievable. It's going to be unbelievable. It's got great bones, but it needs a lot of work. The World Cup draw will set up the group stage of competition. 48 teams will play in 104 games across 16 North American cities, from Seattle to Vancouver to Atlanta to Miami. It's going to be so exciting for our country. The 2026 FIFA World Cup will be one of the largest and most complex events. This will be one of the greatest events, one of the largest. In a way, it's like Johnny said it better. It's like having many Super Bowls in a short period of time. Because each one of these games essentially is a Super Bowl. Some of them are bigger than Super Bowls, actually. But they're essentially, each one of these games is like a Super Bowl. The 2026 FIFA World Cup will be the largest, most complex set of events in sports history. And the Kennedy Center will give it a phenomenal kickoff, and we'll be involved, and they'll be working over there for quite a bit of time. We have it all set that they can stay there for the big events, the big press conferences, and everything else.
And they'll be in a very safe capital. That'll be nice. You don't have to worry about walking down the street, Johnny, okay?
Thank you.
But you could handle yourself.
I could.
Okay. Already, FIFA is projecting 6 million loyal fans will attend the World Cup events next year, and 6 billion more are going to be watching back home, and they think the $6 billion number is going to be actually a low number. And this will drive more than $30 billion into the U.S. economy and create 185,000 American jobs in a short period of time, too. No sporting event attracts more attention, more fans, more viewers, or more revenue than the FIFA World Cup. And again, I'll just say it's the World Cup, and it's the biggest thing there is in sports, and we have it. And I got it in my first administration, and I was really somewhat devastated, as devastated as I can be. I don't have time to get too devastated. I was very happy that today, as you saw, the group that does this, a government group, radical left group, announced that Trump was right. Took in $4 trillion worth of tariffs, that the $4 trillion are going to reduce the deficit by numbers far greater than they ever expected or heard of. And by the way, the stock market went up 1,000 points. That was as of 10 minutes ago. I can't tell you what happened. A lot of things happened. But the stock market's up almost 1,000 points. And it's basically on the news that the release that just came out from government that the tariffs that everybody was talking about, that the whole world respects us for because of what we did. The tariffs are going to be at $4 trillion. They're going to reduce the deficit by $4 trillion, Mr. Vice President.
Pretty good, sir.
Yeah. Too bad it's not 5, right?
That's right.
It's had a huge impact, and the stock market is way up. But this will drive more than $30 billion in U.S. economy and create 185,000 American jobs. No sporting event attracts more attention or more fans or anything else. And I just look forward to the draw. So we're going to have the draw, essentially, Johnny, at the Kennedy Center.
Yep.
And by that time, it'll be in even better shape. We're working on it. It's about a year project to make it. It'll be great. It'll be fantastic. You see the way this is looking? Look, nice. I can't tell you how much that gold costs. A lot of money. There's nothing like gold, and there's nothing like solid gold. But this beautiful office needed it. It had to be representative. When we took it over, it was dirty, not clean. I immediately changed the chair and had this beautiful desk renovated, brought out by the White House. People that do this, they did a great job to send it out. We have a craftsman who's great. But this was not appropriate for the Oval Office when I took over. And now you look at all those paintings you're allowed to turn back. All of these are great presidents, and they were all in the vaults. They were in vaults for some cases much more than 100 years, and now they're proudly hanging on the Oval Office walls. And I can't imagine anybody changing it. But they were buried in vaults for over 100 years, many of them. So it's very exciting. People come in, they really love it. They love what we're doing here. They love what we're doing in D.C., and they love what we're doing, most importantly, in the country and the world. I'd like to ask Johnny to say a few words. He's the head of the whole thing. He's been there for a long time. Probably the most respected man in sports. He's amazing, actually. Works very hard, and he's got the biggest event in the world coming right here to the United States. And a little, we did a little for Canada. We did a little for Mexico. We thought, see, I'm a good citizen. I said, let them have a little piece. So we gave a little to Canada. See how nice I am? And we gave a little bit to Mexico. And Johnny, please say a few words.
Thank you, President. Great honor for me to be here with you today, President, Vice President, Excellencies. Fantastic to announce what you said, which is the final draw of the FIFA World Cup on the 5th of December here in the capital, in the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. at 12 noon sharp. It will be broadcast live all over the world. 1 billion viewers will watch it. And it will determine, of course, the match schedule, which 48 participating teams will play. You said it, 104 matches in 1 month, 104 Super Bowls. This is not just the biggest, the greatest event, not just a sports event, it's a social event as well, with a lot of emotion. We are uniting the world, Mr. President, uniting the world here in America, and we are very proud of that. And those teams, those national teams who will come here to participate in this draw with their coaches, with their presidents, they will all be proud to be part of writing this history, and that's why we brought as well this, which is the winner's trophy. It is the trophy that the winner of the FIFA World Cup wins. Only the FIFA president, presidents of countries, and then those who win can touch it, because it's for winners only. And since you are a winner, of course, you can as well touch it. It's pretty heavy. Yeah. It's the winner trophy. The last one who lifted that is Lionel Messi of Argentina. And here it is in the Oval Office in the White House.
Can I keep it?
For you. Well, you can keep it until the World Cup.
We're not giving it back. That's serious.
It fits well.
That goes very well on the wall right over there. We'll put it right below the angels.
It fits well here, I think.
That's beautiful, yeah.
You can keep it until we have to give it to the next winner.
That's fine. That's a beautiful piece of gold, I will say. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So 6 billion viewers for the World Cup, 6 million coming to the matches, 30 billion economic impact, 185,000 jobs. This will be absolutely fantastic. The biggest event ever, and everything will start here in Washington, D.C. at the Kennedy Center, or the Trump Kennedy Center. We'll see that, how it will be called, on the 5th of September at noon sharp. 5th of December, noon sharp. Then, if I may...
Will they be doing most of the draws, all of the draws at the Kennedy? Well, how are you going to do that?
Yes, we'll do that at the Kennedy Center. We'll do all the other meetings around it with the coaches, with the broadcasters, with the sponsors, everything at the Kennedy Center. The whole World Cup starts, and everyone will be happy because everyone has qualified for the World Cup, and they didn't yet play a game, so they didn't lose yet a game. So they all think they can become world champion, right?
They'll all be happy.
Exactly. Now,
by the way, an example, supposing we had a week ago when everybody was being killed and mugged and everything else, despite the phony numbers that were given out, that it was getting better. Brian, do you believe it was getting better or getting worse?
Oh, the crime was getting worse. I mean, I was robbed. It was getting way worse.
Yeah. How did the other guy come out?
Well, he came out with a briefcase, unfortunately. Yeah. So, Robert 1, Brian 0.
No, but can you imagine you do this and then you start hearing that they had a 20-year reduction of crime. It's worse. It was worse during the Biden administration than anybody's ever imagined possible. And I guarantee you he wouldn't be here if those numbers continued. But now we have total safety. We have total security. And for the border, in 3 months, 0 people. These are done by liberal people that do these charts. 0 people came through our border in the last 90 days. Can you believe it? 0. Last year we had millions of people coming in, and they came in from the wrong locations. They came in a lot of people that shouldn't be here. So now when we have this event in December, it's going to be very safe. Johnny, you can walk down the street with your beautiful wife.
Yeah.
You can take her to dinner if you can get a reservation, which I doubt.
They're all full, the restaurants.
I know. They're all full. I heard that too. The restaurants aren't. The restaurants, since we are doing this, are doing great. And many new restaurants are going to open because, as you know, many closed. Yeah. Many restaurants closed because the crime was so bad. This will be one of the safest places anywhere on earth. So, I really am honored that the National Guard has done such an incredible job working with the police. And we haven't had to bring in the regular military, which we're willing to do. We have to. And after we do this, we'll go to another location, and we'll make it safe also. We're going to make our country very safe. We're going to make our cities very, very safe. Chicago's a mess. You have an incompetent mayor, grossly incompetent. And we'll straighten that one out probably next. That'll be our next one after this. And it won't even be tough. And the people in Chicago, Mr. Vice President, are screaming for us to come. They're wearing red hats, just like this one. But they're wearing red hats. African-American ladies, beautiful ladies, are saying, please, President Trump, come to Chicago. Please. I did great with the black vote, as you know, and they want something to happen. So I think Chicago will be our next, and then we'll help with New York, and we're going to help with... And I think a lot of these people that you see on television, they are, including the people in this audience, they'll say bad things about me, and then they'll say, thank God he's here. Because half of them got mugged, and they don't want to get mugged again. But they're, you know, they work for they work for stupid people that are radical left, and they're made to do things and say things that they don't want to be saying. But the people right here are all happy because you're not going to be mugged in Washington, D.C. anymore. I just want to say Johnny's been my friend for a long time. He's an incredible guy, and we will lay out the red carpet. Andrew, you're going to be fantastic. Rick is going to be everything Rick ever touched has always worked out, and he's working with me on the Kennedy Center. And his very good friend was an actor on Broadway for 5 years, right? And I assume he's helping us a little bit, right?
Yes.
And Andrew, you're all excited about it?
Absolutely.
Would you like to say something?
This is a great opportunity, Mr. President, to show off the first 250 years of the United States of America, the greatness and then the hope and promise of the next 250 years. When you think this World Cup is going to be over our 250th birthday, Mr. President, your leadership, obviously, with FIFA leading the way, this is the largest sporting event in the history of the world under the Trump administration. So very excited.
I just want to say one thing. Andrew Giuliani, so his father is Rudy, the greatest mayor in the history of New York, I think by far. He took a ravaged city, a city that was really under siege. Probably most people thought it was going to survive. He turned it around. He was a great, great mayor. And then they treated him very, very unfairly. You go back and tell your father all of the things that have come out over the last couple of months through Tulsi and through all of the people, Cash, everybody. They've proven your father 100% correct. His father was treated so unfairly. Your father has been 100% correct. And tell him we all love him, okay?
Thank you, Mr. President.
It's been amazing. What he had to go through was very, very unfair. Nasty. These are bad people. Mr. Vice President, would you like to say something?
Well, sure, Mr. President. Thank you, and thanks to Johnny for being here. We're very thrilled about the World Cup. Just to echo something the President said about crime in Washington, D.C., this is the national capital of the greatest nation in the world, and we had murder rates just a few weeks ago that rivaled some of the worst third world cities anywhere, even in very, very poor regions of the world. Why did we accept that? Why did we allow it to happen? We allowed it to happen because we had broken leadership in Washington, D.C., and unfortunately sitting behind the Resolute desk. What we have shown in just under 2 weeks of taking law enforcement seriously is that the American people can have their streets back if their leadership is willing to put in the time and the resources. Mr. President, you've shown in Washington, D.C. that we can have safe streets again. We've just got to have the political willpower to focus on the bad guys and to give the American people back their communities. We are focused on doing that thanks to the President's leadership.
Thank you. And that's a really very small percentage. It's 2%, 3%, but that 2% and 3% wreaks just havoc throughout a community. People are petrified, and I notice a couple of the women in the back are shaking their head, yes, yes, yes. I won't report who you are because you'll end up losing your jobs, but it's true. It's amazing. And the police, and you look at the D.C. National Guard, I saw pictures of them last night getting off vans and all, and I saw some bad ones running, but they're not running so much anymore. They're not there. They're just not even trying. You're totally safe. Now, there'll be something happening sometime. I don't know. Maybe it won't be for a long time. But this was every night would get reports of people being mugged and killed. There's one woman on television last night. She had a badly busted up nose. And she said, well, I like our streets the way they used to be. And she thinks it's going to happen like by doing nothing. And they say, what happened to your nose? She got slugged by a guy walking down the street, slugged. Her nose will never be the same, I guarantee you, unless it takes a pretty good turn. She wasn't really for us. But she sort of said, well, maybe something has to happen. Before this happened to me, she got whacked. And I don't think she'll ever be the same. She was a half a Trump fan, a woman that would have never been a Trump fan, but she was hit hard. It's not going to happen anymore. Not going to happen anymore. But then we're going to beautify the city too. That's where I was today at Kennedy Center, and we're going to beautify the city like it hasn't. And we're working with Clark Construction, the biggest construction company in Chicago, and New York, and Washington. And the head of Clark is great. He's all over the world, actually, but Washington, I would say, is their home. That's where they do the best work, the biggest work, and they've been doing a fantastic job. So
You're going to have a fantastic, clean, beautiful place. It's going to be better than it ever was before, literally better than it ever was before. We'll get it done very quickly. And I want to thank Clark because they're doing a lot of work in a lot of different locations, but they've been fantastic for getting us the right contractors and the people that can really do the job right. And Johnny, did you want to say something?
Yes, I have one more thing, because as you rightly say, you know, with security and beautifying cities and the whole country, we want people to come and enjoy and have fun. And that's why this is not just the most iconic trophy in the world of sport, but we start on the 10th of September the sale of tickets for the FIFA World Cup. And we have the first ticket here for the final.
Good. Wow.
For you.
Oh, good.
That's cool.
Wow.
It's, of course, row 1, seat 1. It's ticket number 45, 47. And it's for the final in New York, New Jersey. And so you have your ticket already for the final. All the others, 10th of September, start getting your tickets.
That's beautiful, yeah.
6.5, 7 million tickets. Fans will enjoy the security here. Will be fantastic.
You're going to do record business, I think.
100%.
Christy, would you like to say something?
Yeah, Mr. President, millions of people will come to this country, and we'll make sure they get their travel documents, their visas, that they want to come here and spend their money and enjoy the sporting event. It'll be the largest event in the world. And, sir, you're reminding me of something that my dad used to say all the time when I was growing up. He would say, Christy, you kids need to look like you respect yourself before anybody's going to respect you. And in this country, when people look at our streets, when they look at our capital, you're bringing respect back to this city. And people will respect our country more because it's safe, it's clean, it's beautiful. And what you're doing is transforming this nation by making sure that our laws are upheld. And millions of people are going to come and be able to enjoy it next year, and I'm excited about that. Thank you for doing that.
Well, our country is respected again. And a year ago, we had a dead country. I'm telling you, it was a dead country. It was a country that had lost its way. It was a country that was going to fail. Look, even today, where they say $4 trillion in reductions of deficits, and this was totally unexpected. They didn't expect it. I mean, I don't know where they've been, the people that do this stuff, but it's terrible. I want to thank Christy for another reason. I said to her 2 weeks ago, I said, Christy, do me a favor. I built hundreds of miles of wall. I built the same wall that the Border Patrol asked me to build. It wasn't my first choice. I wanted to do concrete plank and everything nice, but you wouldn't have been able to see through it. So I had Border Patrol in, and they tested everything else. And we gave them steel wall, high-grade steel, very hard to cut. Then we gave inside that is 9,000-pound concrete, which is a very tough concrete. Inside that is rebar, a big, fat piece of rebar. So you have all different materials that are very hard to cut, and you need different instruments to cut each one. And I said, Kristen, we got to get a coat of paint on it. And I didn't know she was listening, but I said, we got to get a coat of paint, and it should be black, because black makes the steel very hot. It's untouchable. You could fry an egg on it. And if you got a good black, flat paint, it would look beautiful. It will preserve it from rust. And that was it. And I gave it to her along with 30 other things, and she's done such a good job on the border with Tom Holman and the group. Tom Holman's a fantastic guy, what the job he does and the way they work together. So I turned on last night and I see Christie's painting the wall. And it looked beautiful, by the way, when that paint went over there.
And it's hot.
It's hot.
Yes, it is.
It's hot. If it's white, it's not hot. If it's black, it's going to be very hard to climb that sucker. It's not going to be easy. But it's black and a high-quality black. You know, it really looked good.
Yeah, we got
Is
the
that going
paint
to be a
you told us
two-coat
to.
job or a one-coat?
No, just one coat.
One coat.
We
Good.
used the paint you told me to buy.
Yep. The two-coat will take place in 3 years from now. Right? We'll do the second coat. But it looks beautiful. But thank you very much. I didn't know you were listening to that, because we talked about 7 different subjects, and all of a sudden I see her out there painting with a lot of painters and everything else. But it was a beautiful thing to say. Would you like to say something? You've been such a big part of this. Please.
Well, just, Mr. President, we're delighted to be here today for this announcement, but we're also looking forward to having you at the final.
Oh, yes.
On July
Oh, yes.
19th
No, we'll be
in New
there.
York, New Jersey.
We're going to be there. A lot of people are going to be there.
A lot of people.
I'd like to thank you all. Do you have any questions on FIFA, first of all?
It's going to be a big event at the Kennedy Center. Do you intend to take part in it? Will you have a part to play on December 5th?
I might play. I mean, I see the money that these soccer players, we call it soccer, but I see the money that these soccer players are making. I may try and play. I'm a very good athlete. My son is a very good athlete, and he's a good soccer player. He's on the tall side for soccer. Yeah. He's 6'9". That's pretty tall. But
that's pretty tall.
It's on the tall side.
He's good.
It's on the tall side, but he's good. But no, I may put on shorts. I look extremely good in shorts and enjoying the play. No, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be good.
Many foreigners who want to come to attend the event are concerned about the visa situation. Can you reassure them?
Yeah, they're going to have a very easy time getting in. Certain countries are going to be very, very easy, and other countries are going to be obviously a little bit more difficult. Would you like to explain that, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a process set up that we'll be implementing on getting visas approved. Everybody will be thoroughly vetted, but they'll be welcome to this country. It'll happen quickly, and we're excited for them to come. So I would hope that around the world people know that the United States is excited to bring their family here to enjoy this event.
America welcomes the world.
Yes.
And I can really, from the collaboration that we have, testify for that. Absolutely. Thank you.
And I was just sent a picture from somebody that wants to be there very badly. He's been very respectful of me and of our country, but not so respectful of others. But I'm going to sign this for him, but I was sent one, and I thought you'd all like to see it. That's a man named Vladimir Putin, who I believe will be coming, depending on what happens. He may be coming, and he may not, depending on what happens. We have a lot of things happening over the next couple of weeks. But I thought it was a nice picture of him. Okay of me, but nice of him. So that was very nice that it was sent to me. Okay?
Mr. President,
yes.
on that subject, have you talked to Vladimir Putin about the fact that yesterday a big U.S. factory was hit in a Russian airstrike in Ukraine? What's your reaction to
I
that?
told him I'm not happy about it. And I'm not happy about anything having to do with that war. I said I settled 7 wars, and actually, if you think about pre-wars, add 3 more, so it would be 10. I thought this would be in the middle of the pack in terms of difficulty. No, I'm not happy about anything about that war. Nothing. Not happy at all. We'll see what happens. I think over the next 2 weeks we're going to find out which way it's going to go. And I better be very happy.
Mr. President, I had a very good call with Prime Minister Carney of Canada yesterday morning.
Yes.
Canada is taking away some retaliatory tariffs.
He's removing his tariffs, yeah.
Exactly.
He's removing his retaliatory tariffs, which I thought was nice. And we're going to have another call soon. Okay. Yeah, we had a very good call.
You're getting closer towards an agreement on trade?
I like them. You know, look, I'm fighting for the United States. Canada and Mexico have taken a lot of our business over the years, over 25, 30 years. Especially during the Biden years. They took a lot of our business, and it's basically all coming back into the United States now. Well, hot as a pistol, and it's coming back in. Because of tariffs and the incentives we give, it's coming back. And it's impossible, I think, for another country to stop it. And we are working on something. We want to be very good to Canada. I like Carney a lot. I think he's a good person. And we had a very good talk yesterday, so I think it'll be good.
Mr. President, I have a question about the search of Ambassador Bolton's home. The Vice President recently just did an interview saying that it's about classified documents, but that there's also broad concern about him. What are the concerns?
Well, I haven't spoken to Pam and the group yet, but I will be. I saw that just like everybody else. I try and stay out of that stuff. I'm allowed to be, and I'm chief law enforcement officer, believe it or not. You know, I don't like to go around saying that, but I am. That's the position. But I purposely don't want to really get involved in it. I'm not a fan of John Bolton. I thought he was a sleazebag, actually. And he suffers major Trump derangement syndrome, but so do a lot of people, and they're not being affected by anything we do. I don't know anything about it. I just saw that. I'll find out about it. But if you believe the news, which I do, I guess his house was raided today. But my house was raided also. Called Mar-a-Lago. They went through everything they could, including my young son's room and my wife's area. They went through her drawers, as the expression goes. They went through everything you can imagine. And when she came back, she said, she's very neat, you know, she's meticulous. And she looked and she said, whoa, this wasn't the way that she had it. So, you know, so I know the feeling. It's not a good feeling. Thank you.
Mr. President, how long will you give
Putin.
A couple of
and
weeks, we're going to figure it out. We'll find it.
Do you think you'll have to intervene at some point?
Look, it takes two to tango. You understand that. I wanted to have a meeting with those two. I could have been at the meeting, but and a lot of people think that nothing's going to come out of that meeting. You have to be there. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. But we're going to see. In the meantime, people continue to die. But I've solved 7 of them where they were in wars for 31, 35, and 37 years. We had 3 of them that were for more than 30 years, Johnny, and I got them solved. And we solved one that could have been a nuclear war with India and Pakistan. That was getting ready to be a nuclear war. I solved them all. And this one, I thought we would have had it done by now, but it's more difficult. There's a lot of anger, a lot of hatred. There's a tremendous amount of hatred there. So, but we'll see what happens. I think in 2 weeks we'll know which way I'm going. Because I'm going to go one way or the other. And they'll learn which way I'm going.
Mr. President, if I got 2 questions for you, one on FIFA, the other one on DC. Let's talk. Can you talk about the economic impact that FIFA will have in these cities, and what's your message to the mayors to get their cities prepared, not only the beautification process, but also the safety aspect?
Well, Los Angeles is an example. You know, it's poorly run. We have a mayor there that can't even get permits to the people that lost their houses. Lee Zeldin got every permit. The hardest permit is the federal permit. Within 20 days, every single permit was there for the people to build their houses. But people are writing us and they're saying they won't give us. The mayor is incompetent. The governor is incompetent. You know, Gavin. I know Gavin very well. He's an incompetent guy with a good line of bullshit. And he doesn't get the job done. And frankly, those people want to build their houses. It's terrible. They could have been built. Some of them could have been built already. But think of it, the federal government that has the most complex part, and it's the most complex environmental thing to do. We got it, everybody had it within 30 days. And they're not even close to getting their permits. And now they're talking about taking some of those sites and building low-income housing on them. These are high-end neighborhoods. And I'm all for low-income housing. I built a lot of low-income housing. I know all about 236. I know every program that there is in the government. I used every one of them. I know more about low-income housing than probably almost anybody. And it's great. It's fine. It's wonderful. But you don't build it in Pacific Palisades. You don't build it there. And you don't build it in the other areas that burned down. So they're talking about putting up low-income housing. And you talk about riots. They're going to have riots if that happens because you're taking the people's property away. They want to build their houses, and they're unable to get permits from the mayor and from the governor. And that's a terrible thing. But, and let me tell you, if I didn't send in the troops in Los Angeles, Johnny wouldn't be in Los Angeles. You wouldn't be having your World Cup there. I sent in the troops, and we kept it. And even the police commissioner, the sheriff and the police commissioner, they all said the same thing. They said, we could have never handled what was happening. You saw that. You were there. He said, we could have never handled what was happening. And then you hear Gavin Newsom. After it's all quelled, you hear Newsom get up and say, we could have done this for ourselves. No, they couldn't have. And if they could have, I wouldn't have taken the chance either.
Okay, my second question is on crime prevention. Would you be open to expanding the national concealed carry to apply to D.C. like it does in other states like Texas?
Yeah. Well, they have it in some states, and they feel strongly about it. As you know, I'm in favor of it. People have to protect themselves. I'm a Second Amendment person, very simply. People have to be able to protect themselves. Especially like in Washington, you walk down the street, a guy comes up and slugs you. He's got a pistol in his hand. You can be tough, you can be in great shape, you can be a powerful person, or you can be a guy that weighs 100 pounds with a gun in your hand. Right. And I'll bet on the guy with the gun 100% of the time, right? And so you need protection. So I'm a Second Amendment person all the way. Yeah, please.
President Trump, you said this morning that you're working with Congress to get $2 billion to help clean up DC. Have you had any conversations with Mike Johnson and John Thune about where they're going to get that money from?
Which money?
You said this morning that you're going to get $2 billion from Congress to help clean up DC.
Yeah, I've spoken to Mike Johnson. I've spoken to John Thune, the Senate, the House. And I think it's going to be very easy to get. It's going to be not a lot of money. I wouldn't even know where to spend the number that you mentioned, but it's going to be money to beautify the city. Yeah, they're ready. Everybody wants to save D.C. In one way, it's the easiest. The violence was more than any other city in the country, actually, by far. It may have been more than any other city in the world. If you could think You know, we looked at some of the worst cities in the world. It was worse. And that's why it angers me to see the mayor saying about how they have it on the slide. Not on the slide. It was worse than ever. Yeah, we have no problem getting that money. That money will come out of Congress. I think it'll be even bipartisan.
And is the plan
I mean, I would imagine Democrats would vote for that one.
Is the plan to get it before the September 30 spending deadline on the Hill?
Well, I don't know if there is a deadline, because if I declare a national emergency, which this was, that ends the deadline. So, I mean, I keep seeing about a 30-day deadline, of which we have 22 days left or something. But if I think we're in great shape here, that's one thing. But if I don't, I'm going to just say it's a national emergency. And if I have a national emergency, I can keep the troops there as long as I want. If people are not going to want to have the troops in 30 days, you know, it's one thing to get them out. It's another thing to keep them out for a long period of time. You've got to train people. You can't do this. You can't bop people over the head. And a lot of those people are in courts right now, going to court. They're going to go to jail for a long time. So that's going to take more than 30 days. But if I have to, I'll declare a national emergency, which I don't think I'll have to do. Yeah.
Mr. President, can I ask you about the Russia? You said in 2 weeks you'll know whether you go.
Yeah, I think I'll know. I think I'll know the attitude of Russia and, frankly, of Ukraine. It takes two.
What are the 2 ways you can go at the end of 2 weeks then?
Well, then I'm going to make a decision as to what we do. And it's going to be a very important decision. And that's whether or not it's massive sanctions or massive tariffs or both. Or do we do nothing and say it's your fight? Look, I would have never been in this war if I were president. You wouldn't have had this war. It was never going to happen. This was caused by stupid people that fought. And, you know, people say, well, how do we know? Because for 4 years, it was never even a subject. And Vladimir knew, and you see his picture right here. It was nice that he sent, but Vladimir knew very strongly we wouldn't have stood for it. It wouldn't have happened. 100% wouldn't have happened. But it did happen. And now they're losing from 5 to 7 young kids. Think of it. You're a parent, and your son is leaving. He's Russian or he's Ukrainian. And he's leaving, and they're waving goodbye. Nice, beautiful kid. Nice crew cut, all set. He wants to be a soldier. And he goes there first week, he has his head blown off. And he's no different than you people, me. And it doesn't matter where. I mean, I solved a problem in the Congo that was vicious. Rwanda and the Congo, the Republic of the Congo. And they were fighting for 31 years, and it was machetes. People were getting their heads chopped off. That was going on for 31 years. I got it solved. You saw it. They came to the White House. We signed an agreement. It was amazing. People can't believe we got it done. I love to stop killing. I really do. People thought it would be just the opposite. Hillary Clinton said, oh, he'll get us into a war. No, I'm getting everybody else out of wars.
Are you saying there's a real possibility then that you do nothing if Putin doesn't come to the table for a ceasefire?
I'll see whose fault it is. If there are reasons why, I'll understand that. I know exactly what I'm doing. We're going to see whether or not they have a meeting. That'll be interesting to see. And if they don't, why didn't they have a meeting? Because I told them to have a meeting. But I'll know in 2 weeks what I'm going to do. I have pretty good ideas.
Your Justice Department is also sending some of the Epstein files over to the House Oversight Committee today. Are you in support of them releasing all of them?
I'm in support of keeping it open.
If they wanted to release,
people shouldn't be hurt, but I'm in support of keeping it totally open. I couldn't care less. You got a lot of people that it could be mentioned in those files that don't deserve to be. People, because he knew everybody in Palm Beach. I don't know anything about that, but I have said to Pam and everybody else, give them everything you can give them, because it's a Democrat hoax. It's just a hoax. The whole Epstein thing is a Democrat hoax. So we had the greatest 6 months, 7 months in the history of the presidency, and the Democrats don't know what to do, so they keep bringing up that stuff. But it affected them. Bill Clinton was on his plane and went to the island supposedly 28 times. I don't want to bring that up, frankly. You have Larry, whatever his name is, Summers, the head of Harvard, who was Jeffrey Epstein's best friend. Nobody ever talks about that. I mean, but I don't want to hurt Larry Summers, but he was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein. No, this is a Democratic hoax to try and get the significance of what we've done over the past 7 months. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. They say it's #1 in history. What we've done, including stopping 7 wars. I mean, just include that. And now you look at the stock market today, it's way up to start off with from where I took it. And this market was going to crash. If Joe Biden or Kamala were president, this market we would have had a crash like in 1929. You're not going to have that. It's only a question of how high is it going to go. You know, I had the strongest economy in the history of our country. And despite COVID, we had the strongest economy in the history of our country. And we're going to blow it away this time. I was always good at making a lot of money. And whether it was for myself or whether it was, I like doing it this way better. I mean, I like making it for the country. Our country has been ripped off by friend and foe, nations all over the world ripped off. And the friends have been much worse than the foes for the most part. And they're not ripping us off. We just signed a deal with the European Union. They're paying us essentially $950 billion, like a signing fee. They're going to buy $750 billion worth of energy. They weren't buying much of our energy. They're very smart in doing it. And as you know, Ursula was here a couple of days ago having to do with the people, the leaders that we had a great, people said they've never seen anything like it. Well, we had the leaders of Europe right here in the Oval Office. And she's so happy that she has an agreement. But people aren't ripping us anymore. We're run by, this country is run by smart people now.
Mr. President, in Israel...
Two questions. One is about Intel. There have been reports that you're considering taking a stake in Intel. Can you tell us
About the 10%?
About the 10%.
Yeah, I met a man. He was a very nice man, and I called for his removal because I saw something by a man named Tom Cotton, a senator from Arkansas. He's a great guy, friend of mine, supporter of mine, big supporter. I'm a supporter of his too. And he wrote a pretty nasty story about the head of Intel. And I said, well, if that's right, he should resign. And he came in, he saw me, we talked for a while. I liked him a lot. I thought he was very good. I thought he was somewhat a victim, but, you know, nobody's a total victim, I guess. And I said, you know what? I think the United States should be given 10% of Intel. And he said, I would consider that. I said, well, I'd like you to do that because Intel has been left behind, as you know, compared to Jensen and some of our friends, NVIDIA, some of the people, and the people in, because Intel should have never been. Intel was the biggest, most powerful chip company in the world. And then they started leaving. And they started going to foreign countries, in particular Taiwan. And if we had a president that would have said, okay, you can go to Taiwan, but we're going to put a 100% tariff or a 200 or 300 or a 500% tariff, anybody that sells into the United States has to pay. They wouldn't have left. They would have never left, and we wouldn't have. So in the meantime, we had people that were, in some cases, good politicians that weren't good on trade. I loved that man, but he was not good on trade. I totally disagreed. He allowed the car industry to be taken out of this country. We lost 50% of our car industry. But that's all coming back. It's all coming back. But if somebody would have said that with Intel, would be a giant right now. Now, with that, they've had some bad management over the years, and they got lost. And I said, I think you should pay us 10% of your company. And they said, yes. That's about $10 billion. I don't get it. This comes to the United States of America. And I said, I think it would be good having the United States as your partner. He agreed. And they've agreed to do it. And I think it's a great deal for them. And I think it's a great deal. He walked in wanting to keep his job, and he ended up giving us $10 billion for the United States. So we picked up $10 billion. And we do a lot of deals like that. I'll do more of them. If somebody has, like we have restrictive covenants with Jensen. We have, it's NVIDIA. And to unrestrict the covenant, nothing to do with losing our powers or military or anything, because that I wouldn't do. But there are things you can do that don't affect us, that actually help us. And if we're going to give somebody a restricted covenant, we have a strong restrictive covenant on certain industries. And I will absolutely give somebody a opening on a restrict to do a lot of business, which is good for us, as long as it doesn't hurt us in a security or military way. And if I do that, I think the country should be paid, because anybody else, I have it in real estate where I'll have a deal with somebody and I'll have them restrictive covenant. Then they'll come back and they'll say, I'd love to be able to build over here, but I'm not allowed to because you have me covered, you have me restricted. I say, I'll let you build over there, but pay me a lot of money. No different. But the country never did it because the country was run by foolish people.
On PC crime, you said Chicago might be next. Are you making, have there been concrete steps that the administration is taking to do that? Or what are other cities as well?
I haven't spoken to the mayor. He's grossly incompetent. I haven't spoken to the mayor, no. When we're ready, we'll go in and we'll straighten out Chicago, just like we did D.C. Chicago is very dangerous, great place. I built great stuff there. I have the most beautiful building in Chicago, I think. But I hate to see what's happened to Chicago. Chicago was our greatest city, actually. Bob Tisch, a great friend of mine, passed away. He used to own the Giants and very successful Lowe's. He said Chicago, I think they had their main office in Chicago. He said Chicago and San Francisco are the two greatest cities in the world. Now you look at what the Democrats have done to San Francisco. They've destroyed it. I own a big chunk of the Bank of America building in San Francisco. And, you know, it's just different. We can clean that up, too. We'll clean that one up, too. You know, if everything works out, and we've already had calls from other cities, quiet calls from Democrats. We'd love you to come here because they've lost control of their cities. I'm not going to say because I don't want them to lose their elections. But we've had calls from Democrats and calls from people generally. We'd love you to come here because we'll straighten out the problems.
Mr. President, in Israel, the families of hostages in Israel, families of hostages are opposed to the reoccupying of Gaza. Why is the U.S. still
Well, not all of them. And you have to understand, I'm the one that got all of the hostages out. You got a lot of people out. If it wasn't for me, they wouldn't be out. I worked with Bibi and I worked with Steve Witkoff. But if it wasn't for me, you would have all these hostages would most likely be dead right now, every one of them. So they all come up here. They come in groups of 10, 12, 13, and many of them, and I've gotten to know a lot of them. They're great people. What they had to go through is incredible. But so now they have 20, but the 20 is actually probably not 20 because a couple maybe aren't around any longer. It's a terrible thing. No, I don't like anymore. I said, you know, when you get down to 20, they're not going to make deals anymore. And they didn't. And then I put out a statement, as you know, that was a tough statement, go in and get them. And they said, we'll give you 10, we'll give you 10. I don't know what Israel's doing, but they were willing now immediately to give us another 10. The situation has to end. It's extortion and it has to end. And we'll see what happens. I actually think they're safer in many ways if you went in and you really went in fast and you did it. And people can't forget October 7th, remember that. I'm friendly with all groups. I won the Arab vote in Michigan. I did so great with the Arab vote, remember? I started off at 0, I ended up winning. I wouldn't say the candidate was the greatest, but I would have won against anybody. They're great people. But we have to do things properly. And, you know, I'm very proud to say I got the hostages out. You have hundreds of people that are living now because of me. And now we have that final little group of people. And Hamas knows that if they give them, that's probably the end of their lives. So it's not easy to get. And I know if you're a parent, you just don't care. You want, I want my baby back. They want their babies back. They want their kids back. And I understand it. But I got them out and did a good job. And we're doing everything we can to get the hostages out. Thank you all very much. Yes?
So Jackson Hole, Jay Powell today said, he suggested that they might cut interest rates, but they have to proceed.
Well, we call him too late for a reason. He should have cut him a year ago. He's too late. You know, we have a stock market that's up 1,000 points today. I better be careful because I go out there and I'll see it's down 1,000, right? But it's up 1,000 points when I came in here. We have a country that the market's the hottest it's ever been. The country is better than it's ever been. We have a military that I rebuilt largely in my first term. We had a great, successful first term, but this is going to be even better. But we rebuilt it. We gave a lot of it away to Afghanistan, but relatively small compared to the overall. But I think it was the most embarrassing day and period in the history of our country that they allowed those 13 wonderful people, but it's really hundreds of people were killed. And they don't talk about the 48 that were so severely wounded with no legs, no arms, nobody ever mentions them except me. But that was the worst day, the most, it just showed how incompetent. Frankly, if that didn't happen, I really believe that you might not have had the problem with Russia. I think Putin was sitting there watching these stupid people running our country and said, this is a time to invade. It's, this is a time. And then Biden made the statement, well, he can do a small incursion. When he said that, it was off to the races, right? When he said He can do a small incursion. Remember that? I was surprised he knew the word incursion. I didn't think he had that good of a vocabulary. I want to thank everybody. It's very important to me and to everybody up here, the World Cup. And Johnny has been so incredible. I mean, he's really a great leader. I mean, to think, I said, Johnny, do it by phone. You don't have to come. No, he said, I'll come. And he flew all night long to be here and listen to this about how great we're doing in D.C. But he's a fantastic leader. And this will be your most successful World Cup ever. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you so much. America win. Yeah, can we win it, Mr. President?
I don't know. That's I watch some of those teams go right. They go down that field. I don't know. But let me ask you: what chance does America have of winning?
Well, the home team always has a good chance to win. It depends
See,
how
he's
it
a good
starts.
diplomat.
No, but it has some good
We have a
players.
shot. We have
Of course, you have a chance.
Will Bears be going to any of the games, Mr. President?
I'd love to have him. He'd love to. He's very tall. Maybe we could make him a goalie. The goalies are very tall now, right?
Yeah, goalies are very tall.
The goalies, well, he'd be a perfect goalie.
100%.
At his height, he'll be a great goalie.
Exactly.
So we'll put him on the American team. No, but
Goal.
do the Americans have a chance of like getting into the quarterfinals?
Yes,
right?
definitely. No, the quarterfinal definitely. But then, as the tournament goes on with the public 250 years of United States, let's not forget, they will all feel energized about that.
You know, it's amazing. The talent is really great when you watch these things. I went to the game 2 weeks ago, and it was a big upset. But you look at these people; the way they pass it. It's amazing, really amazing. It's a great art, right? It's great talent.
It is incredible.
You know the expression. This what?
Will you draw the names? The message? Will you?
I don't know. He's the boss.
That's an interesting proposal.
He's the boss.
We'll discuss that.
It's going to be great, and I think the American team is going to do. I mean, I hear it's a very good team. Good luck, everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Thank you. You keep a lot of those. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sent to me.
We're done. Thank you.
I thought it was a nice photo. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys. Keep moving. Thank you. Thank you guys. Keep moving. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Keep moving. Thank you guys.
I love how they say, you're done, get out. It's fantastic. Well, we got rickrolled, completely rickrolled by President Trump with all the news breaking today. That's where he decided to go. It was a giant, you know what it is? And I'm not making any excuses because I was hoping it was something with big red meat on it. But at the same token, you know this guy absolutely loves sports. I bet you outside of real estate, sports is his real love. I bet you he wished he had played football, played soccer professional. I really think he loves sports. And so it's Friday, the ties are off. Interesting message. Nobody had a tie on. And it was a very relaxed hour and a half or whatever it was. No, that wasn't an hour and a half. I'd say about an hour. But he was smiling. He was happy. And I think it had a lot more to do with what's going on outside of that room than what happened inside of that room. I saw something. Oh, by the way, here's something that he was obviously happy about. And he referenced it. And those of you who have a portfolio, you probably smiled today too. Because this is, as he was speaking, let me just refresh it here so we can see what it is. Dow's up 886 points as we end towards the close of the week. S&P is up 1.5%, almost 1.6%. NASDAQ almost 2%. The Dow almost 2%. So there's a lot of happy people right now because of the Trump economy and the downtrodden look that, what's his name? This guy. Oh yeah, I got to show it to you. They chose this picture on purpose. Tell the story without telling us what you really feel. You're telling us exactly what you think. Powell indicates conditions may warrant interest rate cuts as Fed proceeds carefully. Yeah, I'm sure. That's not what he really feels. He knows he's feeling the heat, and one of your ladies here up on the Federal Reserve is about to get fired. But I found it interesting that CNBC would post that picture on their, and by the way, this is their homepage. This is the homepage, and that's the first article on your homepage that Jerome Powell indicates conditions may warrant interest rate cuts as Fed proceeds carefully. So boom. So now 2% may not seem like a lot to you guys, but some of you guys with 401ks and with some, somewhat substantial investments in hopefully gold and silver, you're all, and not Cracker Barrel, but even though, you know what? I think even Cracker Barrel is up today. I think across the board. Let me just see. Look, I bet you if you bought Cracker Barrel stock, nope, sorry, it was wishful thinking. It's just down again. Now, even though the stock market is up, Cracker Barrel is just diving. It was interesting yesterday. It would have been worse, but some people thought, some people thought, you know what? How far can it go down? Maybe we can make some profit. Let's jump in and buy Cracker Barrel cheap. And at this point, it's still heading south. I wouldn't touch it. Let's see the 5-day. The 5-day, it's down 12%. And over the last month, it's down 20%. Good luck. Good luck, Cracker Barrel. Sorry about your luck. Oh, my goodness. You see, one of the things that always gets me about DEI is you cater to the people who can't control your monetization. There's even people on X who cater to the nuts, and even the nuts on the right. And I'm thinking to myself, you're monetized. You're hoping that you're doing it not just for fun, that you're creating a business around it, and the people that you're encouraging or courting don't have any money. Which means the advertisers don't care. They don't care who the people are talking about. But that's a whole nother story. Speaking of people being worried and not caring, with all this stuff going on about John Bolton, and we saw that the media didn't want to go there, didn't want to come close to that. I asked one question. Yeah, you have an opportunity to speak to the President of the United States, and the biggest news of the day, you just avoid. You don't want to talk about it because you know it's that bad. CNN, I think this is CNN. CNN brought on another stupid idiot Democrat.
The top Democrat on the House Judiciary Committee. Thank you so much for being here. First, you are not only the ranking Democrat on Judiciary, John Bolton happens to live in your suburban D.C. in your Maryland district. What is your reaction to this search?
Well, and I, of course, support the constitutional rights of all of my constituents, Dana. And look, this episode is disturbing, and it seems to confirm Bolton's own prediction that if Donald Trump got back into office, his administration would be consumed with vengeance and retribution against his perceived political enemies. They stripped John Bolton of his security detail on the first day of the administration, I believe. They stripped him of his security clearance. He was listed on Kash Patel's so-called enemies list. And it seems as if perhaps the president was not pleased with what Bolton was saying during the course of the big summit with Vladimir Putin here in the United States in Alaska. And he was reminding everybody that Vladimir Putin had one goal, which was to...
What a horrible interviewer Dana Bash is. Blah, 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 Russia and Putin, and oh my God, the dude just had his house raided, and that's the crap you're talking about?
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
I mean, seriously, if that's all you have to say, that's it? I don't even want to finish listening to you. Dana, control the interview. Bring him back. Hey, Jamie, can we talk about the process here and, what's going on? Hey, maybe some of your other colleagues might be next. No, it's Russia and Trump distracting from Epstein. Loser. Complete loser. Perceived. You know what I found? I found this to be extremely funny. Somebody posted this. And it says, so let me get this straight. Trump comes on at 10:17 wearing a Trump was right hat about everything. while saying, I know nothing about John Bolton. I thought that was, okay, you got me on that one. I know everything. Hey, what about John Bolton? Hey, don't know nothing about that. That's Pam and Cash, and they're just doing their job, so I'm not involved with this. Exactamundo. In reference to all the crap that's been going on about Cracker Barrel, I just wanted to show you this one thing here. This is Steak and Shake, a relatively big, chain. You find them in malls, and they've got, outpad locations in certain area. Good food, decent food. And I'm amazed that they posted this and took this stance. I had to dig in. I'm like, is it really the real Steak and Shake? Is it the corporate, or is this a parody? No, it's the actual Steak and Shake page. And they came out and said this. Sometimes people want to change things just to put their own personality on things. At Cracker Barrel, their goal is to just delete the personality altogether. Hence the elimination of the old timer from the signage. Heritage is what got Cracker Barrel this far, and now the CEO wants to just scrape it all away. At Steak and Shake, we take pride in our history, our families, and American values. All are welcome. We will never market ourselves away from our past in a cheap effort to gain the approval of trend seekers. I just want to tell you, having worked in an advertising agency, a big advertising agency, one of our clients was Papa John's. For that to get posted, it went through a number of different people first to get it approved. And obviously, at something this strong, the CEO probably had to step in and go, yeah, go ahead and post that. They took a shot at, I don't think Cracker Barrel could be conceived or thought of as a competitor, but they took a shot at another restaurateur and said, that ain't us. We're not doing it. We're not throwing away heritage. Now, I understand Steak and Shake is a relatively new chain. I don't think they've been around nearly as long as Cracker Barrel. But you don't throw away what got you there. And we all, every single one of us in marketing, have always looked at the value of a brand. And one of the biggest mistakes in all of advertising, all of retail, was what happened with Coke and New Coke. It was the defining chapter in Marketing 101. Don't do this. In other words, don't F with it if it ain't broke. I understand Cracker Barrel has had some breakage because their sales have been down, but that's other reasons. Why don't you fix what's broken instead of not fixing or not breaking what it doesn't? It's not broke or something like that. Your food has declined. Your service has declined. Your brand didn't decline unless you're saying that your service and your food are part of your brand. Fix that. Fix your brand. Fix what was wrong with your brand. People go to Cracker Barrel because they want a slice of yesterday. They want the welcoming smell of the fire in the fireplace. They like the little pegboard game that they even put that out to DEI. They changed it so that, it makes it easier so nobody's a loser. You have put in charge of these corporations the kids we used to stuff in lockers in high school. And I don't mean that with any bragging to it. I was a bully, I guess you could say. But these were the outcast kids, and you've put them in charge of companies. You've put them in charge of multi-million-dollar corporations, and they don't know what the hell they're doing. They went to some Ivy League school and then got the diploma, but they don't have any business sense. This is insane. Absolutely insane what they did instead of fixing the problem. And so now you've spent $700 million rebranding, but you didn't spend any money fixing the problem. You used to be able to walk into Cracker Barrel and you would get like a nice hot bowl of biscuits. They just brought that out just because you had the foresight to come and sit down at Cracker Barrel. Hey man, these biscuits are good. And you can play a little game and you get something to drink, the old soda pop in the bottle and everything else. That's what made Cracker Barrel. And it was genius. It was always sold out on a Sunday morning, depending on where you live, and you had to sit there or walk through the store. The e-commerce store, or the commerce store, was the retail, was the waiting room, basically. And you had the rocking chairs outside. And how many of you have ever gone to any restaurant, anywhere, where you had to wait in line, and outside there was these cool-ass rocking chairs? And you could just sit there and rock, and the time would pass away. You could talk to your family. You could play checkers while you're waiting for your table. It was an iconic brand, and she destroyed it. Completely destroyed it. And so from a marketing perspective 101, Papa John's survived the whole thing about Papa John's being a racist, which was complete BS. Might have been a drunk, but he's not a racist. They survived it. You know why? Because it's still better pizza, better ingredients. They didn't change the stuff that was working. They, got rid of him because they thought he was the thing that what. But they didn't kill their brand. They brought in Shaquille O'Neal. They did some things like that. But hey, better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's, which my boss was the one who came up with that information, that slogan. And so as I watched this stuff with Cracker Barrel and how they've completely destroyed it, I'm going to tell you this: it's worse than Bud Light. Here's why it's worse than Bud Light. Bud Light goes and they bring in Dylan Mulvaney, and everyone's like, are you flipping kidding me? I am not buying this stuff. But Bud Light was still Bud Light. And so if they got rid of him and they brought in Peyton Manning, and some of the people said, you know what? I don't mind this piss beer. I kind of like it. It's cheap. I can drink this. I know what Bud Light tastes like. So now that you've gotten rid of the DEI, some of the people are coming back because they know what Bud Light tastes like. Cracker Barrel did the complete opposite. You can't go back because I'm like, where's the old dude sitting on a Cracker Barrel? Not there, huh? Okay, so let's go in and have some. Oh, you don't give me biscuits anymore. No, I don't get any biscuits. All right, so can I order this or that? What's a double latte scrappley? No, I want a hot cup of coffee. They effed up. And the only way they're going to recover, the only way, is if they figure it out really quick and go back and realize you need to fix. Put the logo back. Put the old man back out there. You don't even have to say you're sorry. Just put it out there. People will see you're sorry. And then fix the problems you do have. Your food sucks. It's really dropped off. And I understand your problem with service. Ever since COVID hit, oops, I said the word. Ever since that happened, service at many, many restaurants has fallen off. So what do you need to do? As I told you with real estate, it's a matter of supply and demand. If you want the best service, you're going to have to pay for the best people. So now you're going to have to up your pay to basically have an auction and get the best people to work in your restaurant. And you know what? You can raise your prices. Because if I haven't been to a Cracker Barrel in a while, but if I went in and I had stellar service and I had good food, I would go back more often and I would pay more for it. There's a reason why people buy expensive watches. There's a reason why people buy expensive cars. They're willing to pay for it if the value is there. And you strip the value completely away and still serving up a crappy product. That ain't going to work. Never going to work in marketing. Never, ever, ever. So Cracker Barrel, Steak and Shake called you out and they told you, you messed up. And whoever put this woman and the other woman in charge with the big giant glasses, you effed up big time. All right, so what else I want to show? Speaking of effing up, I saw this post and I immediately thought of Robin. And I thought to myself, what kind of scumbag is John Bolton? What kind of scumbag would put your wife in this kind of position? When I show you this picture, the look on his wife's face, it just looks like, what did you do? How could this have happened? Your one job is to make sure I'm secure. Your one job is to make sure the people you love are protected. That's your one job. Not Trump, not MSNBC, not running your mouth. Your one job is to make sure that person at home is protected. Look at this woman's face. This is John Bolton's wife as she's getting served and they're going through her house. Look at that face. I would never want to see that face on my wife. If I ever saw that face on my wife, I'd have to call it a day. Honey, I did you wrong. I don't know why I was thinking so much stuff about Trump. And yeah, some of you guys are going to say, well, she knew and she went along with it. Nah, I don't know that. I don't know if she paid attention to what he was taking out of the room and if there were, excuse me, if there were any confidential or classified documents. But what I do know is she didn't deserve that. And none of your spouses deserve that. That is a woman right there at her age, and she's just watching her world crumble. And if she does know what he did and she let it go on, then she's probably thinking to herself, oh, God, we're about to lose everything, aren't we? Yeah, Yep, you're about to lose everything you know. If they go through and they find something and they end up going ahead and pressing charges against them, well, you're looking at a couple $1 million right off the bat in your defense. You're going to be penniless. And guess what? Nobody's going to feel sorry for him. Everybody is going to say he deserves it. Even when Rudy went through everything, or Michael Flynn, oh, there were so many people, they didn't care that Michael Flynn and Rudy and all the other people, what they went through. Roger Stone. Roger Stone's wife is deaf. She could have been killed that day if she reacted the wrong way. They never show you this picture. They never show you the picture of somebody on the other side, the spouse who may not have known anything and whose life today is complete shit. Don't know what she's going to... I mean, look at the picture. Look at that face. That is a woman right now who just has no idea what is coming next. And her husband put her in this position. And I think each one of us could empathize with that and say, damn, John, I understand you hate Trump, but didn't you see this coming? I don't find there to be any excuse with that. None whatsoever. And it just... It hurts me, man. This woman looks like she's about to die at the front door. Think about it. Any one of you who have a spouse that might have been doing something, and you get the knock at the door, which is probably pretty loud, FBI. You're like, who? Did you say mailman? No, I said FBI. And you open the door, and you're like, oh my God, what in the hell is this? I would venture to say that none of you are prepared for that. Because that visual right there, when the FBI is knocking on your door and you open it up, providing you had time to open it up, and you see all these people out there in windbreakers, and some of them possibly in tactical gear, and you realize right then and there your life has changed forever. Your neighbors are all looking, hey, what's going on over there? Your family's seeing this. Your husband now sits and goes, oh, what? Oh, not her. Don't, oh. And so I would play the Judy Garland, I don't care, but I don't know her involvement. And so just looking at her face, I do care. I do care. And that's the other side of politics that nobody wants to see. President Trump alluded to it. It was almost like he saw that picture. It was almost like President Trump saw that picture and said, you know what? They went through my wife's underwear drawer. One of the most private places that a woman has, in her underwear drawer. And she wasn't even home. And she came back and she's like, I don't know what hands were here. I don't know what these people did. Take it all and throw it away. I'll get new underwear. And I just found it compelling in that whole speech that President Trump did. And he was taking questions, and he was talking about how tall Barron was and soccer. And he made a point to say, they went through my wife's underwear drawer. Do you not think I'm going to do some retribution? Do you not think I'm coming for you? And I don't know how many of you guys heard that and just, oh, he made a point to say that. This poor woman feels like Melania did when she found out they went through her underwear drawer. Melania's married to a billionaire. She's got her own money as well. She'll get over it. She'll just call the help and say, just get me all new stuff. Hey, Chanel, whatever, Victoria's Secret, just give me 50 pair. This woman here, my heart goes out to her. I don't know if she knows. I don't know if she was involved, but if I just looked at those pictures right there, that's a woman who's like, oh my God. What do I do now? Well, the only thing you can do now is pray, lady. Your husband did you wrong. If you weren't complicit, and let's just assume that she wasn't, because the look on her face doesn't look like I've been caught. That looks like, what the hell is going on? I'm leaving it up there so you can get a good look at her face, because that woman right now, I think, needs prayer. I think she needs people to say, it's going to be okay, even though it's probably not. So let me take a couple comments. Somebody said, what? My underwear drawer? Yeah, they tried to kill him. Yeah, that too. Exactly. I don't care, people. He stayed married to the criminal. She stayed married to the criminal. Okay. That's a look of guilt. Well, you guys are hardcore, man. Yeah, they didn't go through hers. They stated. Melania must have felt completely violated. Yeah, that's how women are going to feel. That's how I look at it. I don't think she expected it. Nope. Maybe her husband kept saying, oh, it's fine. No. Hey, John, I keep hearing all this stuff in the news about Trump and his retribution. Are we going to be okay? Yeah, we're fine. Okay. Thanks, Johnny. She going to take a frying pan. Oh, if the FBI went and planted some bugs, that would be indeed some must-see TV there. Like, we're done, Mrs. Bolton. Thank you for your time. Sorry about the inconvenience. Oh, it's okay. Where that F at? Where you at? Tell him to come on in, all right? Please? Yeah, I got something to say to him. Yeah, she looked so scared. She didn't know, but probably overheard things. Apparently, Bolton wasn't home. He was there. He was out in the driveway in his undies, they say. Let's see. What do you think about Putin coming to the soccer championships? Fine. Here's why. Somebody said Steak and Shake is 91 years old. Here's what I think about Steak and Shake is 91 years old. Here's what I think about Putin coming to the championships. It's not about Putin. Yes, he's the president of the country, but it's about those athletes who've been working their entire lives for a championship goal, a world championship. I've been playing soccer since I was 7 years old, and I've gotten to the top of my profession. I am one of the best elite soccer players in the world, and I would not want to see what happened in 1980 or 84, where Russia wasn't allowed to come to the Olympics, because the guys who were training their butts off and the ladies who are training their butts off, it's not on them. They are doing everything they're supposed to do. I'm sorry, maybe as a former player and athlete, I know what it takes to be the best in the world. And these people have been working their asses off every single day, non-stop, since the time they were 7 or 8 years old, and they're ready to play the World Cup, and somebody's like, oh, you can't come because your president's an ass. Doesn't hurt Putin. So yeah, I don't want us to ever be, in fact, I can't want us to ever be like Hitler. Just the opposite. Even with everything going on, Hitler still let us come to the Olympics. He was pissed off that Jesse Owens kicked all that Third Reich butt, but he still said, yeah, you can come run. Let me see what you got. My guys are better. It wasn't about Hitler. It was about them people running and jumping and everything else. So maybe I'm offbeat, but that's how I feel because it's athletics. Steak and Shake is 91 years old. Wow. Yeah, I agree, Barry. Russian athletes have been done dirty, in my opinion. Absolutely. And believe it or not, these guys work so hard, man. Talking about Bolton's wife, yeah, what's it say here? She's more than sick to her stomach. She's sick to the very spirit of her heart. I did wonder about her now. The answer I need, praying for her. That's it, because at her age, and I don't know how old she is, but it could kill her. I mean, her heart could just go done. These men are running through my house and they're ripping stuff. You guys ever see what a house looks like after a search warrant has been executed? It's not like they open a drawer. Oh, they just dump shit out. They're not lightly looking through your closet. Hey, let me just see what all this stuff is. And just going through things. They ain't got time to sit here and look at each page. And then the stuff they take out. Crazy. Barry and my MAGA friends, please pray for my friend Robert, who was taken to the hospital this morning. Oh, yes, we'll keep... Also, with that, somebody had sent me an email. Somebody's father had passed. And they asked me to... Hold on, let me see if I can... I think it was somebody's father. Wait a second. Okay. I'll have to find it. And I'll mention it at the next show. But somebody's father got sick. Okay, wait a minute. My father. I'll have to find it. But let me try one other word. Maybe I didn't save it specifically in a different folder. Let me see if I can find it so I get this person's name correct. I'll have to find it. But somebody asked me to mention. Geez, it was in my email. I can't find it right now. I'll find it and I'll mention it. Somebody had somebody that passed, and I wanted to mention my dad or something. All right, I'll find it. SB says there's some more breaking news before we sign off. Let's see what you got, SB. Oh boy. What is this? Okay, so hold on. Let me move this. Interesting that this would pop up this time. 4 Mercy flight helicopters are landing near Pembroke I-90 in Genesee County, New York. I-90 is closed in the area after a tour bus rolled over at least 52 patients. Massive emergency response. Dozens of patients have been transported by ambulance. So sad. Sad, sad, sad. Well, that's not a national story, but still, nonetheless, let's keep these people in our prayers as well as this bus has turned over. And let's see what Ashley has here. Oh boy. Yeah, stuff is happening. Thanks, Ashley. Breaking. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth has officially fired the Biden head of the Defense Intelligence Agency, Jeffrey Cruz. Cruz is the one who produced a preliminary report on the Iranian strikes that were leaked to the media. Now we're finding out what the hell happened. Deep state root. Deep state rooting out is what's going on. Love that one. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you deserve to go away. Let's see what else we got here. Another breaking news story. Yeah. Breaking. Kilmar, a Maryland man, Garcia, has just been released by a federal judge and is back on American streets. The wife-beating, human trafficking newcomer, MS-13 gang member, is on his way to Maryland as we speak. We should take a poll. We should take bets. How long will this guy be free? Tickety-tock. Tick, 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 tick. I bet you by the time I go to dinner tonight or you have dinner, you will probably most assuredly see that the Maryland man has been picked up. Oh boy. Yeah, I'd love to see that. Maryland man needs to get picked up. What is wrong with these judges? It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. They all need to go to jail. All of them. Take them all down. All right, let me do super chats, and then I'll do the after party. And oh, by the way, I haven't mentioned this in a while. Do I have it here? Where is it? Yes, I do. All right, so if you guys like to join us over in our fanfare X group. It's private. It's free, and you can join us in the X group. Doesn't cost you a dime. Just go ahead and click there. This image says 15,000, but we are now up to 17, almost 18,000 people are in our private group, and it's free. Go to fanfareshop.org/group, and you can join us and be a part of our community. And by the way, just to let you know, that community in there, they post a lot of content. So even if you don't see my content, trust me, it's not like you're sitting there waiting for Barry to post. It's like curated by people you see right here in the chat. And also, I've got a few submissions waiting, but here's some more. If you guys would like to submit a video, and we will post it probably on tomorrow or Sunday show, go to fanfareshop.org/submit video, and we'll get you on. You can be a star if you're ready for your close-up. All right, let me go ahead and check and go over any super chats that may be in here. Hold on. All right, here we go. Am I at the top? Yeah. Winning. That's what we want more of. Absolutely. Linda, thank you, Trudy. Linda Gass, thank you, Barry, your family and mods. Love your shows. Thank you. Michael, Barry, great idea. Sell those big, beautiful hats you wear. Sales will be skyrocketing. You have advertising anywhere, and your viewership will skyrocket. Your viewership. I don't like to sell stuff. I feel blessed enough that you guys watch. I don't need to, it's nice that you even do super chats, but I don't look to make money like that by selling it. However, Ashley and I just ordered a bunch of them, and we're going to be giving them out for free. So once we get them in and we start mass producing them, then we're going to give them out for free. And in addition, I've got you can't see it, but behind the Notre Dame chair, that's what we'll now call it. It's no longer the evil chair. It's the Notre Dame chair. I've got some goodies to begin giving out too, like extra blankets and things like that. So we'll get those out to you. Hey, Barry, G. Fisher, when will we be having your next real estate show, Prosperity? People don't like me talking about it for some reason. I don't know. But I'm thinking about, if I had been doing them as a part of our regular show, giving out tidbits, and people get pissed off. So I think it was SV or somebody who said, just do it do a private video. So I think that's what we'll do. So I'm going to work on putting that together. Big Pat, I hope ND doesn't get a male cheerleader. If Notre Dame gets a male cheerleader, I'm done. Viking King, Barry, play this one. Shingan Malahuena Salarosa. What is that? I don't speak that. Tell me what that means. But if you want to hear, you want me to play some Spanish music, here they come. Hide your ears.
Que a la real canta así.
Told you, she's sitting there, she's just waiting. She's waiting. Vishu, deep state is like rats, they will eat each other. Oh yeah, he'll be looking to cut a deal big time. Yeah, you saw his wife. His wife's gonna say, cut the deal. Which means they probably try to take him out. After I saw his wife's face there, I'm like, that's not a guy who's going through trial. Nah. She lives a nice, comfortable life outside of Washington in Bethesda, Maryland, and she probably goes to her bridge club twice a week, and that's it. Cut the deal. Because otherwise they're going to drain your bank account. Tina Young, the taste of karma in the morning, for sure. Francis P. Johnson, thank you. Shane Tankersley, thank you. Robert Petrushka, thank you very much. Fred Latimer, thank you. Job for 9, Barry is silver is almost at 40 per ounce. God bless. See, that's where I would like to just have that evil smile. You know, that I told you so grin? That's all I'm going to say. I mean, and hold on. You know what? No, I won't bring it up. But I've been talking about Lear Capital and gold and silver for quite some time. And don't look at the 1-day value. Today it hit 40. Don't look at the 5-day. Bring that out wide and see where you would have been if you had done something 6 months or a year ago. Well, maybe I will show it to you. I think I got it in here. Wait a second. Do I have it here? If not, I can get it real quick. Let me just show you this. Some people were like, Barry, don't do it. All right, so I got to do it. This is today, silver price today, and today it's up to almost 2.5%. Do the math. And 1 month ago, if you bought, it would be down. But 6 months, that's now you look at 6 months. What happened 6 months ago? Oh, President Trump got elected. Actually, it was seven months ago. He got inaugurated. You'd be up 20%. 20. How about a year? 1 year. This time last year, we were doing the rallies. This time last year, I was working with Lear Capital and we were doing the commercials. 34%. In 1 year, 34%. You see now why I keep talking about prosperity and doing things? It's don't be the hare, be the tortoise. Take your time and look, and just let it sit. It's not going to go backwards. 34% in the last 12 months. I ain't making it up. 34%. I'm pretty sure your IRA and your 401k aren't up 34%. Probably not anywhere close to it. You can do the math. Say, wow, if I put in X, it would be up 34% by now. Yeah. That's why I keep talking about it. That's why we keep talking about it. And, you know, it's not exclusive to silver. Look at gold here. Gold today is up 1%. Last 5 days, it's only up 0.71. Last month, it's down 0.7. But 6 months, it's up 15%. I don't think you want me to show you the 1 year. I don't think you want to know how bad you've missed out. Bam! Bam, as Emerald Lagasse said. 36%. The gold price is up 36% in the last 12 months. I've already done the commercial. This one's free. You better get some. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. I will continue. Trudy Saxton and Job for 9, thank you for that. Trudy Saxton, our president is such a gift. He is. Edwin Mendez, everyone in Trump's cabinet has moxie and true grit. Concerned citizen, now that I can respect the presidential office again, it feels so much better. Indeed. Concerned citizen again, thank you. Judy Branch, love the show, Barry. Thank you very much. Concerned citizen, the devil equals the Democrats. Yeah, no longer is my chair evil. It's a Notre Dame chair. Football. Donna, where'd that go? Donna Hill, thank you. Redeemed Patriot, erasing nostalgic history, even if it's restaurants, is stupid. Nicholas Lamonicus, very, very appreciate you, the Fanfare family, and the president. I keep hearing about Detroit, D.C. They will never help Baltimore. We will be last if we are on the list at all. I'm very upset. I'm sure he was just letting you know what was next. And I don't know who's picked these cities or, you know, what. Probably because of the need. Baltimore is bad, like I said, but Chicago, it's really bad. And it probably need to help a lot sooner. Trudy Saxton, Barry, the best, funniest, and smartest. Thank you. Robert Gallant, Barry, my dogs have all pulled their savings in hope a super chat will stop you from playing the Mexican yodelers. You know, like the Mexican lady. I had texted SV. I'm like, yeah, she's warming up, man. She's she's trying to sing. Captain Danny Barrow, thank you. Tommy, how you feeling? If any of them require skill to earn money, they'd be broke. Oh, yes, I completely agree. All right, everybody, it's Friday. This is the one show for Friday. I will see you again tomorrow sometime, probably about 2 or 3, depending on what we do in the pool or if we just hanging out or Or if for some reason the dude decides he's going to break some more news, I may be back today if that were to happen. We just can't tell. He'll just go on. Hey, I know you guys are all settled in for the weekend, but yeah, we're going back on. Don't see how my phone just rings like this. That's the thing that gets me. I'm ready to hit the button and go jump in the pool, have some lunch, and SP hits me and says, "Oh, you got some more breaking news or something to talk about." So let me see what the newest thing is here. Oh, wow! This one's huge. All right. After 8 hours, they crawled through his house for 8 hours. John Bolton was just seen returning home, and Bolton does not look happy. This deep state hack deserves every second of this and everything that's about to come. The FBI is just getting started. Oh my goodness. Here's the video. Let me rewind to him getting out of his car. Oh my gosh. I tell you why he's not happy. I'll tell you why he's not happy. He's not happy because as soon as he gets in that house, he's going to have to go face the woman. And he's going to have to tell her, honey, I done messed up. Really, really bad. And she's like, yeah, you did. What we going to do about it? Flip now. I like the bank account. I like the little nice house out here. And I don't want to be broke, bro. No. Yeah. All right. Thanks, SV, for that. Everybody, I will see you tomorrow unless, of course, something crazy happens. We never know, do we? Talk to you tomorrow.